outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin G. Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what
All
you need.
alone.
Vitamin G. Ay. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin G. already know how I'm coming, man. Tryna run the town. Tell no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? Heavy as the head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's by smoke, then we talk all of that. From an ounce to a pound. Take it, they biting this now. Cause my drip right up the seat. How could they be? Give me a couple of rounds. Cause I'm a beast when I'm on vitamin G. You see they start crumbling now. Mad struck start mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for clout. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock glitz, know they look how I freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See, we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just to form a warning. Truly, I'm De Niro when it come to movies. Get De Niro, entertain the groupies. Habanero if you come pursue me. But I hop on the game, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Link up with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them bills on the duty. I'm in Stixie, I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Rugers. I can shit on you with my computer. See, my graphics card costs more than your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. Then reload the clip and record the clip. It's go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me wanna see tuned into that VGP. Take over the west and the east. Hey, we got just what you need on vitamin G.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dante Crisis back with your weekly dose of vitamin G. And there's only 3 of us. This is supposed to be a big news day, but I'm guessing people just don't want to be handed their L's or take their lickings or hell, even walk around with courtesy W's today, because there's only me and my other 2 panel members right now. But then again, Jube's always goddamn late. So, you know, first of all...
They're all too busy playing Redfall.
Yes.
Nah,
yes.
there
is mid-Carter as Dolph Ziggler. Zero, give us your intro first, my guy. How are you today?
I am doing well, guys. Good to be here. Sadly enough, not a lot of gaming this week. Work's just been a little nuts. So... dabbled a little bit in some Tekken, just to get shake the rust off a bit, see what that's all about. But I think I'm gonna lean pretty heavy into like SF6. I'm trying to debate if I'm gonna lean into FF6 or was it Tekken 8?
Tekken 8.
Tekken 8 that's coming out.
Why not both?
There's parts like why not both? Like the skills aren't that not transferable. Terrible sentence, sorry. And like
the
Street Fighter
skills are
just
very
looks
transferable.
Street Fighter was like a good time, just like with their whole world mode and like their walking beat 'em up. And Tekken is my first love for fighting games, so like I've always wanted to support that. So still grinding a little in Bravely Default 2. I will have it completed by this week. I'm just at the end boss. I just need to get it done, and be over with. It jumped into more Sifu, which is having a good time again. I don't know, man. I feel weird that nobody's talking about the extra DLC from Sifu. Like, it just feels so weird to me that everybody's praising this game when it came out, and then it got all these new modes that breathe new life into the game, and nobody was talking about it.
You want to know why? You want to know? Oh, sorry, no intros. Do your intros. Crap.
Okay, that's it. I'm disappointed. All the movie references that they make. I don't know, man. I feel bad about it. Go play Sifu, guys, particularly the DLC. Like, it's awesome. But yeah, that's about it for me.
All right, Omar, what have you been up to?
Okay, so I'm playing a Star Wars game. It's not Survivor is Fallen Order. It's cool. I'm liking it. I am not into the whole Star Wars franchise, but I was able to understand from the story pretty much what's happening. I like how diverse the environment is. Like you go on a planet, you're thinking, okay, that's gonna be only ice and village. Like no, you go in underwater, you go multiple areas, so clearly there are variety in it. A few issue I have is the climbing mechanic can be a little bit janky. Other than that, I do recommend it. If you have PlayStation Plus, it was given for free. That's where I'm playing it from. But yeah, other than that, I played a game called Super Epic. It's a Metroidvania game about a dude in a llama with a llama. They're trying to fight a corporation that brainwashed the people to play video games and pay them gacha style. My biggest complaint would be, and I'll leave it at that, is if everyone here played Infamous Second Son, they gave you. There was this one side quest where you needed to look up on internet or do some research for it.
The origami conduit.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. When it was first done, you needed to do it for real. But after a while, when it was done and was solved, they patched it out. So now you can simply get the origami stuff without the need to do all that research. Well, with this game, there is something similar to it, where you need to scan and play a mini game, and you get a code, and you put the code in, and you unlock a safe. But the problem is, no matter how many times I play the game, they don't give me a code. So I actually dropped that game. Super epic. I was enjoying the combat, found the story interesting, but because of me not having the ability to get codes for saves, and there's a lot of them, I flat out dropped that game, which is a shame. But yeah, that's about it.
Alright, cool. Finally, the two goddamn late arrivals. One of you I can understand, the other one, Kofi, I'm shocked. Give us your intro.
What's going on, everybody? Yep, sorry that I'm late, and sorry that I missed you guys last week. It was because I just got off a cruise in the Eastern Caribbean, enjoying some time with the family, and I did not touch a game. I thought about bringing my Vita, but I also thought that with two kids in one room, if my Vita broke or anything happened to it, I would be furious with myself. So I decided to leave it at home, and hey, it works today. So yes, I don't remember if I talked about this before I left. The Friday before I left, I finished Octopath Traveler 2. I wanted to talk to Omar about it because I'm pretty sure Omar is done with it. But there's just some chapters in that game that are just so amazing. So maybe Omar, we can revisit that.
Sure.
General discussion. Intros first.
Yeah.
All right, my bad. So so obviously, you know, me being a huge Horizon, basically I'm a Horizon chill. I wanted to play Burning Shores, but before I played Burning Shores, I wanted to get the platinum in the base game. So I came back to Horizon, and I just got the platinum last night, and it's just an amazing game. I just love everything about it. I love being super nasty with bombs. I call Aloy the Trap Queen because I have her with an armor set that allows me to lay down traps all day. Okay, you don't come to Aloy without running into 2 acid traps, elite acid traps. Okay, then I'm gonna hit you with the plasma. I'm gonna hit you with the sticky bombs. You just can't win. So I had a lot of fun. I have not started Burning Shores, but I probably will start it maybe in a week. And then my mainstay right now is Star Ocean: The Divine Force. Shout out to Nappy Senshi, who I understand is not going to make it this week. But it's a easy game to start. It's one of my favorites right now. Just I'm in a honeymoon phase, obviously, but the first 2 hours are just really easy to just get right into it, and I'm really loving that. Combat is clean. I love the presentation. I love the engine that I think it's called the Aska engine. It's the same engine that Star Ocean 5 used, but it's got a lot of updates, so it's really nice. And I'm sure the game was patched because the demo I played back last year was chugging on PS5. Now, I don't notice anything. Load times are great, so I'm very happy with Star Ocean. And at some point, I'll be playing Burning Shores.
All right, cool. Mr. Lay himself, Mr. Jubei Sensei, give us your intro, my guy.
Hey yo, what's up, everybody? Hey, I'm late. Some of us like taking showers, bro. You feel me? So, hope everybody's doing well. Nothing too crazy. I'm still looking forward to playing some Redfall today, even though this game is getting absolutely annihilated. Oh, good lord. I finally got to pick up my collector's edition for Jedi Survivor, but I'm probably not gonna open it until that patch hits because performance. Yeah. But
My buddy's PS5 version crashed a lot.
yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. The box is dope though. So yeah. Yeah, outside of that, nothing too crazy. Went fishing over the weekend. Caught quite a few. Kept some got some in the freezer. Probably gonna go this weekend also. I've been out touching grass, which some people in this community also need to do. But yeah, I'm looking forward to shooting the ship with you guys today.
Yeah, well, hopefully there'll be less shooting today, given the subject. Alright, Mr. Farrell Bazaar, give us your intro.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I've been dibbling dabbling games this week. Nothing too serious, nothing worth talking about. Yeah. Other than that, been being degenerate gambling all weekend. That's all I've been doing. And that's about it. Easy week.
I wish we could all have those. Alright, so what have I been up to? I started recording sessions for Red Faction this weekend, and also started recording sessions for Saints Row 4 co-op. I had to buy a new microphone because when I went to the editing side of things, I found out that my microphone crapped out. This one, by the way, that you can't see because of this. This microphone crapped out for the last 3 sections of Red Faction. So basically making those videos completely unusable because they have no mic audio. So I had to buy a new one. I am now £250 in the goddamn hole as far as my GPU goddamn budget goes because of this fucking thing. So my weekend was not off to the best start. Other than that, I have been playing some Sea of Thieves today. That was a lot of fun, as Sea of Thieves usually is, until assholes show up running the Reaper. And I've also been playing some XCOM Enemy Within, because nothing beats XCOM, because XCOM is fucking awesome. It really is. Alright, let's get some love to the chat. Let's see. Nappy's there, the trader. How dare you not be here? Hello, Tiffany. How are you today, love? Kadon, what's good, my man? Hello, Stanley. What up, brother? And that's who we've got in the chat right now. Alright, let's throw this to general discussion to talk to each other for a quick 15 minutes. Kofi, someone was mentioning something I was going to interrupt. Kofi, what were you talking about? There was something someone was mentioning that I almost interrupted, but I think it was you, Kofi. You mentioned something in the offshoot of your intro. What was it again?
Octopath, I think.
Octopath Traveler 2, yeah.
Yeah, so
someone else then.
Kofi, you once tweeted out, you said a story about this I will never forget, or it will stick with me for a long time. Which story is it?
Casti.
Just so I know.
Casti Chapter 3.
But who?
Casti Chapter 3.
Oh, Cassie. Yeah, I finished that story completely.
Completely. I did like to me, Cassie chapter 3 is you in my opinion, that episode can't be in like RPGs with good graphics because of the controversial things that happen. Would you agree?
Mm,
I haven't seen that very often.
to be fair, though, we've seen Kafka do almost
So
close
this
to
is
the
this
same.
is when they're in the village and they notice something's going on with the precipitation, and it's a village, so there are people of all ages there.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but come on, Kafka literally poisoned an entire lake, and people died from it, children included, and kids.
Oh, you said
Like,
Kefka? You said from
yes,
6, right?
on
Yes.
Final Fantasy 6, yeah, he literally did that exact same thing.
I mean, Kefka's one
Only,
of the greatest villains of all time.
Double
yeah,
standard there. Don't double standard him. Don't double standard him, Kofi.
I mean, no, but I can't judge against Kefka. I think that this
he
person,
is great. Like, he's
but
one of
like,
the few that actually did what he wanted to do, which is annihilate
right.
everything and everyone, and he
But I
won.
guess like to me, I did not see that coming with the particular main villain that Cassie was dealing with.
Oh no,
Um,
I knew it was the second we saw him with the mask. Uh,
oh yeah,
and,
oh yeah,
and they introduced us to him before the mask. I'm like, yeah,
in the
no,
beginning,
you are
that's
who you
true.
are. That was simple for me to understand. They made that mistake by actually showing you that there was a person with the mask. They shouldn't have done so.
You know
If
what's
they
funny?
didn't, then I
So,
wouldn't have guessed it.
but
But
you know
thank
what's
you
funny
for
for me? I did not. So I played the chapters completely out of order, and I forgot that he was even introduced early on because I did her
oh.
chapter 1, and then I did like everybody else. I was doing Partatio. I love Partatio because he's such a heartwarming character. Partatio's final, showdown was one of the coolest bosses ever, man.
I
I was
have
like,
yet to
this is
do.
so. Oh, you haven't done Partatio?
No, no,
Oh!
no, 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 no. I need to explain something. I only beat cast stories yet. That's
Oh
it.
my gosh!
I actually. Here's the thing. Cassie final boss was so difficult for me. I actually needed to take a break from Octopath 2. Cause that
Oh,
shit,
When the going
cause
gets
that shit.
so,
tough, oh my quits.
No, no, it's
whoa,
not
well, go
that.
ahead, go ahead.
No. Cassie is my fucking healer, eh? And he keeps putting a heal block on her, so she can't heal my entire party.
You know what?
And she's
Okay, you want to
Wait,
know
wait,
what
wait.
somewhat reminds me of? That somewhat reminds me. I'm not gonna name names, but this really terrible Let's Player who rage quit Persona 3 because he kept getting charmed by the final boss.
I didn't
Fucking
rage
hilarious.
quit. I beat the
No,
boss.
I'm not saying you rage quit. I'm on about the situation as you're describing it.
So,
Sounds very similar to that situation.
well, go ahead, Omar. Go ahead, Omar. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like man, the game is amazing. It's just I know I need to grind now if I want to continue further.
So
'Cause
who
I'm
is your
Yeah.
mainstay? Who's your core 4 people?
Oh, my main four are for obvious reason. What's her name?
Cassie.
Actually, Ocheta is my
Chet,
main. Kathy is as the main healer. I
What?
replaced Edgar for
Who?
the mage, not Edgar. I forgot what
Oh,
his name.
Temenos?
No. The mage, the sorcerer, the one that gets his
Oh.
entire
Yeah.
family annihilated. I replaced him for Hikari, because Hikari can break the damage limit. That's super important for me.
His
So
carry. Oh, his special. Oh, his
yeah,
deep skill.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
wrap it up, you
that's
two,
him.
because I've got something I want to talk to Kofi about as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
really
the final part is what's her name? The knife lady. I forgot the name,
Oh,
dude.
Throne.
Yeah. Cause she can steal She can do good damage,
So-
and she's the second best. And I am focusing on people. Your main, the one with the gun, or the one for the cowboy. But I need to level him up.
Oh, Partatio. Okay, really quick, because I know
God
we
damn it,
should
quick.
move on.
No, I know we still got 10 minutes. I just want to talk to you about something.
Okay, yeah, I'll be quick. I just want to say that I never really used Casty, and that's why I'm conflicted about her being my favorite character. I didn't really
She's
like
a
her.
healer. How you healing
So wait a minute. So you don't. So Casty was your only healer. Here's the thing. I use Temenos. Temenos is a great healer, but guess what?
Terminus is a healer, but
Yeah,
his resurrection costs a lot of MP.
yeah. It's
While
like 15 or 30.
Cassie can literally heal and revive in one. What we call it? And also Terminus is mad weak. He only have a staff unless you give him a different.
So that's a good
job.
point. He doesn't use many weapons. But here's the thing: I stopped using Temenos, and I gave Temenos as a secondary skill to the mage. I'm forgetting his name too.
Look. We need to sit down and talk about.
Yeah, we gotta sit down.
Yeah,
Because
you gotta
you
do your own
break
fucking
this game,
podcast
yo.
about this.
I'm telling you, Partatio can just pay off some thugs, and you do 30,000 damage a turn. 30,000. It'd be like 9999, 9999, 9999. I'm like, oh my gosh! So
Again,
yeah, we'll talk about it.
Kofi,
for the people,
More
really
importantly.
play Octopath.
Kofi, more importantly, can he suplex a train though?
Oh, that's so crazy! I wish. I wish.
First of all,
I wish.
Zero. I remember what it was. Thank you, Tiffany, for reminding me. The Sifu DLC. You want to know why no one's playing it? Because Sifu didn't launch. It's a good game, really good, but it didn't launch the best. And it took a while for extra content to come out for it. And by that time, people had already moved on, sadly.
Yeah, I was one of them. I played the main game. I was at the third stage or something like that, and it just there are these enemies that keep blocking. That is simply not fun. You
gotta get your hands up.
Yeah, well,
Nah.
we all know Omar and his fighting games. But yeah, that's why I wanted to add when you were doing your intros about Sifu. But guys, now I'm actually going to bring up the trailer just so we can all gush about it, because you know it's fucking amazing.
Okay.
And I know.
While you do so, I'm gonna tell Kofi one last thing.
No,
Kofi.
no.
Okay.
I'm taking Kofi now. Kofi is mine now. Do you understand?
Oh, okay,
Kofi
go
is
ahead.
mine. Kofi is mine because we're going to be gushing about Armored Core fucking 6.
Oh yeah, that
Armored Core
sexy.
6.
Not gonna
Oh
lie.
my god, I cannot wait.
It looked so good. I didn't think it was like gameplay trailer. I was like, this probably gonna be like a couple missile shot. This joke was hot. No.
Do you need to have played the previous one to play this
No,
one?
you've
I
never
never
really
played a
had to
single
before.
one.
You've never really had to before.
This is looking real good. Like it reminds
Yes.
me of Returnal a little bit.
Persona, Persona Speaks. He warned me though, because I said something a long time ago. I was like, I said when Armored Core 6 comes out, I hope all the fans of From Software try it, right? Because the game was never like prime time popular. But Persona scolded me, and he's kind of right. He's like, you realize everybody's going to want this to be a Souls game in mechs, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
dude, we
I was
talked
like,
about
shoot,
this.
he
We-
freaking right about that.
We talked about this when this first got announced, when they first announced that Armored Core 6 was going to come out. I told you, I specifically fucking brought up the first people I hear say, why isn't this like Dark Souls? I'm gonna fucking show them the back of my fucking ringed pimp hand. Because
Right.
because that's all I'm gonna fucking hear on Twitter, and it's gonna piss me
Facts.
off. Because
Facts.
this series is older than fucking this goes all the way back to the PlayStation fucking 1 if I remember my shit correct. Alright? This series is older than Dark Souls. This is honestly the first thing I think of when I think of From Software. So no, it shouldn't be like Dark Souls. If anything, I'm more interested in seeing what their work on Dark Souls as far as like them advancing as developers and the new techniques they've got, how that is going to translate into how they make this game.
Yes. And like, I love that the production from their, 2 Game of the Year winners is going to boost this game. Like some of the scale that we were looking at, I was like, this looked really, really nice. But Armored Core 5 is like one of my favorite mech games. I just thought that was such a fun game. Playing the whole campaign co-op with your friends. Like Reggie has said multiple times, like you could have the wrong setup, you just gonna get killed. Like
You just get one
the game
shot
is
and it's all
unfamiliar.
over.
Oh,
Now you gotta
so
spend a
it's
whole
because
just
of
another
that-
hour fixing your mech just a little bit, and then go and see if you don't get one shot.
Here's the
Facts.
thing, I'm very interested in seeing what the customization for Armored Core is going to be like with this. Because they've already boasted there's going to be a... By the way, I apologize for all this shit on screen, guys. For some reason, my screen capture is just not fucking working. Or I'm going to try and get it fixed. But yeah, no, they boasted that there's going to be an ass ton of customization with this game.
I really hope we get a demo. 'Cause
Yes.
it
think
would
so.
bring more people in. Someone like me that never played an Armored Core game in the entire life. I want to play. I want to experience the demo and see if it's something for me or not. From everything that I've seen, it's almost like Mecha Returnal. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right.
Well, here's the thing. If it is, then Mecha Returnal is like this. Because again, Armored Core goes all the fucking way back to the PlayStation 1. Because here's the thing as well. When I look at this game, I think, thank God, the Kings are back. But not just that. I look at this with sheer disappointment, and I'm like, Demon X Machina, this is what you should have been. Like Demon X Machina, you disappoint me. You are like you could have been our new Armored Core, but you fucked it.
And that was like, it took
Demon-
an Armored Core designer too, who used to work for
I
them.
believe they did, in fact, yes.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or does this really genuinely look like Returnal with guns? Well, in space, more like.
What the fuck? No,
I
not at
wouldn't-
all. Looks
So
like
it's
Returnal.
not.
can't.
So it's not
Yeah,
a
I
bullet hell
can't.
game.
No,
But you're
because
acting
the
like
game franchise is
Returnal.
so
You're acting
old.
like Returnal is the pinnacle of bullet hell games.
Yeah. The
but
series is
I
like
wouldn't call it a
25
bullet
years.
hell either. There's a lot. I mean, it's probably a bit closer to Zone of the Enders if you've ever played that.
I played
Ooh,
that.
there you
I
go.
played that.
Yeah, it's closer to Zoe than it is to Returnal.
Mhm.
Yeah, like you could, and obviously, but like again, Returnal isn't like the first one to do it. I mean, once again, it predates Returnal as well. Like I said, you just look at all of, like, again, the lineage of this series goes all the way back to the PlayStation 1.
You know, I'm not saying who did it first. I'm just saying what it remind me of. That's it.
No, like
Um,
Zone of the Enders is probably the first.
Oh,
is
okay.
maybe the closest you would get.
Yeah.
Demon X Machina is another one. Like I said, Demon X Machina could have been the next Armored Core game, but they dropped the ball in a lot of goddamn areas when it came to that.
What I love is his mobility.
Oh, there is a
Uh,
lot. These fuckers see, that's another thing as well. Like, they were mobile. The mechs were mobile in the original, but again, it goes to my whole point of, with their work on the Dark Souls series and stuff like that, how is like their game design from the Dark Souls going to transfer, or how is that going to influence this? Like, I'm pretty goddamn sure the dodging is going to be a lot more fluid in this because of their work on stuff like Dark Souls and Elden Ring and Bloodborne.
I mean,
Absolutely.
we're seeing it right now. How you can dodge in mid-air. In the air, I mean.
There is a difference between seeing it when it comes to stuff like this. It's like Dark Souls. I'm using this as not an example to correlate with this game. Hear me out. I'm not using this as an example to correlate with this game, but I'm using it as when it comes to Zone of the Enders, because I think Kofi will know where I'm coming from with this. When it comes to something like Zone of the Enders, it's like Dark Souls. Like, yes, you can watch someone dodge, but until you play it yourself, you don't respect you don't understand the gravity of how difficult it is to actually dodge. If that makes sense.
And another thing for Zoe that I don't remember, there's no sort of like build out for Zoe, right? At all.
No, it's just straight. Yeah, it's just straight.
So like sometimes when you're like failing on a mission in Armored Core, you're like, it's back to the
Back to
main
the drawing
menu,
board,
like
maybe
take off
take
the
these-
weight.
Yeah,
Right,
take these tank
facts.
treads off,
Wait.
put
Yeah.
something else on.
Right.
So you can actually fuck your game up
Yeah, I mean, no, not. No, I mean, you mess up that mission, but you won't like mess up like. It's not like you get to mission 10 and because you didn't like remove some missile launcher that weighed you down, you screw up. Like you can switch it out. Like you'll have an arsenal of
Also,
mechs frames to switch between.
I guarantee you, they are also because again, my remembrance of Armored Core is spotty because of again how long it has been. Like, how long has it been since the last fucking Armored Core game?
Last Armored Core came out like 2012. I think it was 2012. PS3. Yep. Armored Core 5 is dope, man. That's such a good game.
More than 10 years ago. Damn.
I'm pretty sure it's 2012.
It makes you question why the fuck have they not made one before?
Because
they got that money for that Dark Souls.
Bingo. I was about to say that Dark Souls money. That Dark
I was a little bit salty.
By the way, hold on. Just for fucking reference, no. By the time Armored Core comes out, Armored Core 5 would have come out 11 years ago.
11 years.
I have a question. What's your thoughts on it being cross-gen?
Is it going to be cross-gen?
It is cross-gen. I just saw that PS4 and Series and Xbox One.
Well, boo. Boo.
It is cross-gen. And
boo from software, boo.
Jube.
You're right.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is cross-gen. No, boo from software, boo. Boo.
I'm surprised they did that.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised, especially with how far we are, and especially how PlayStation have resolved their chip shortage.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
like Microsoft should be as well.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, go ahead. It's fine.
Yeah. The only thing I was going to add is I don't know if it was part of the original game. Again, memory being what it is, but I guarantee. But if it wasn't before, I guarantee it is. Weight is definitely now going to be a more important factor, especially when it comes to dodging in this game.
Oh yeah, from the look of it, a lot of jet in the air.
All right, I'm gonna let Jube. I'm gonna throw Jube on the spot here because our first subject is one that is near and dear to his goddamn heart. Jube.
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
The reviews for Redfall coming in. It's kind of stuck in that 62 to 64. It's now down to 63 again. It's kind of stuck in that mid Carter range. Your thoughts? I want your opinion on this first, brother.
Yeah, I'm seeing a 64. Unless you're seeing more than 27.
I'm refreshing like a motherfucker right now, and I'm seeing.
It's definitely. How many critics? Sorry, I'm not.
Does that make
No, I get you. 28 critics.
Okay,
that's not that many yet.
I only have 7. I only have 27. So it's.
I'm looking at the Series X version.
Yeah.
Let them spoken. How it make you feel?
I don't know how it makes me feel. Fuck that game.
Listen, Omar, that dig was unnecessary. That dig was unnecessary. Let the man just graciously have this sunset, okay? Just let him have his sunset, okay? All right, please, Jube, please continue.
Right. So here's the thing. I'm still gonna play this game.
Gosh, you are.
Review scores matter to an extent if you're on the fence about buying something, but you're gonna buy what you want to buy. And I don't have to buy this, but I'm still gonna play it because I like games like this. I mean, you gotta look at High on Life. That reviewed absolutely terribly. I enjoy that. Critics hate it though. I enjoy it though. It's fun. So I'm a little surprised for an Arcane game to be under a 70.
I'm not. I'm not. Once again, I'd like to.
I'm not.
Sorry to interrupt, but again, I just like to point out Wolfenstein Youngblood exists.
They made that.
Yes,
This is Arcane Houston, right? And there's only one Arcane studio.
This is Arcane Austin.
Oh, Austin. I'm sorry, but they're the same team that made Deathloop, right? Like, there's not like two Arcane studios that I'm like confused.
There are several. They made Prey, and I believe Dishonored.
I will research this in a moment. The moment I've gotten everything sorted. So please, Jube, continue.
Yeah. So it's kind of a bummer to see the scores be the way they are, and especially when you look at the reviews, like a lot of them are talking about the performance issues that other games seem to have got a pass on.
But that's not the only thing I'm seeing. I'm also seeing
it's not the only thing. They're also talking about like the look. Like, yeah, sure, it definitely doesn't look next gen. Like, it definitely doesn't look like a fucking PS2 game, but it's not, exceptional in art design or anything. But even with that, I will say what Arcane game has looked crazy, because I thought Dishonored looked mid, still looks mid.
Prey.
Like Prey does look good. Deathloop has an aesthetic to it, but it's still like not quite there, if you know what I mean. Like, there's some goofiness going on. Like, yeah, I don't know why I was expecting this to be more.
Because you're okay. I'm sorry to cut you off one more time, but I'll tell you why. And I'll be frank with you, because I'm that blunt. I'm as blunt as a fucking atom bomb. It's because it's an Xbox first party, and there was a lot on the line for this to perform.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up, to be honest. I'm just disappointed in the score. Now, again, if I go in and play this and I enjoy it, fuck the score. I could really care less. But if I play it and it's bad, I mean, I gotta take that on the chin. Thank God I don't have to pay $70 for it. But RIP if you did. I mean, that is both the joy and the curse of Game Pass. Like, the game is good, you might want to buy it anyway. I mean, but if it's bad, you're not really out much besides your subscription, and you can move on.
I will give a shout out to Wolong. I think Wolong's a good game. That's in Game Pass.
Even though it didn't review all crazy, but
right, it didn't. Yeah, it didn't get like excellent scores.
Yeah, it didn't. But and obviously it being on a subservice, like, it only had like 1 million in sales, but there's 4 million people playing it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, 1 million in sales in what, a month? It was like 6 weeks. That's pretty good.
Yeah, like, you can't even be mad at it. I mean, that is honestly how I expect games that launch into subservices and stuff like that to look. Like, I should still see people that want to buy the game buy it, but then I should also see a healthy player base, even if sales aren't 10 million. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to see. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm still gonna play it. I'm not too upset about it. Some of these, like, what I don't agree with is that big ass 40 that somebody put on there. I'm like,
what, GameSpot?
You just tanked the score, bro.
GameSpot came out angry. I was like, 4.
Yeah, a 40 means it's like basically unplayable, and I doubt that.
Exactly, like, I don't think it's unplayable.
I don't know, because here's the thing. Not that it's unplayable, because I do believe I saw part of their review is the fact that it is that it's just not that good of a fucking game. Hampers the gameplay loop. And again, they're also doing this with friends, which, again, if your game solely relies on enjoying it with multiple people just to enjoy it, then that's not anything. You could enjoy anything with friends. Just look at the Jackass guys. They enjoy getting the shit beaten out of each other only because they were with friends.
I mean, well, you got to look at Sea of Thieves too. I mean, that's the same concept.
Oh no, no.
Playing Sea of Thieves alone would be.
No, absolutely.
Playing Sea of Thieves alone would not be anywhere close to what.
I do disagree with that. I do disagree with that, because for me, this kind of falls into the this for me falls into the Borderlands 1, possibly the Borderlands 3 mindset of those games are drags and not all that fun unless you're playing with friends, but then you're making your own entertainment. And unlike Borderlands 2 and pre-sequel, where you can play them alone, they're actually pretty fun.
I mean, like I said, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna reserve my judgment. I can't
reserve your judgment.
I can't let somebody else, who played the game,
you shouldn't.
How I feel about it.
No, you
Nobody
absolutely
should.
You absolutely
Star
should.
Ocean 6 didn't get good reviews.
You
I think Star Ocean
shouldn't.
6 is banging.
Alright,
You're
by
the
the way,
one gaming.
hold on. I want to move on to coffee, but before we do, I'm gonna interrupt one more time. I'm a Kanye West all of you, because I actually have the Arcane Studios catalog up right now, because they haven't actually got a lot. So back when they actually gained relevancy, even though they did do the Dark Messiah and the Might and Magic, which I actually believe was a good game from what I remember it being. The first game that they did a prevalence was Dishonored, and then Dishonored 2, then Prey, which was their pinnacle. Then they did Dishonored, Death of an Outsider. That was all. I believe that was all Arcane Austin. Then they went on to co-develop. See, still matters that they helped develop it. Fucking Wolfenstein Youngblood. That game fucking sucks. It really goddamn does, and I will never forgive Machine Games or Arcane Studios for that abomination. Which, I mean, to be fair, from what I've seen of Redfall, like gameplay wise and loot wise, seems to take quite a bit from Wolfenstein Youngblood. Then they bought out Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, which it had a little bit of a better control scheme, but even then, I actually think it's a really good VR game. Then there's Deathloop, which, from what I've seen, and that was made by Arcane Leon, which, from what I've seen, seems to share the same kind of basic enemy AI as Redfall as well. And then
exactly, because people talking about the AI, I'm like, man, the AI in Deathloop is horrendous. It is absolutely atrocious.
And that's what I'm seeing. And that's what I'm seeing in.
But
Redfall.
I was seeing 10 out of 10s for that.
Yeah, game. I know.
Yeah,
It boggles my mind. It boggles.
Let's be real.
Yes, they did. They absolutely did.
And I have an idea for why there were 10 out of 10s for that.
It was exclusive to a platform. So
thank you.
I was gonna go. I was gonna go more controversial.
It got 3 points.
I was gonna throw another. I was actually gonna throw a really controversial take on that one, but I think I should hold my mouth with present company. But yes,
I feel like it got 3 points.
I also think having a black protagonist also gave it 3 points, given how a lot of games media goes.
That absolutely did.
So what you're saying is it got brownie points.
It got
literally.
Well played.
Thank you.
Well
yes,
played.
it literally got brownie points.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I'll wait till.
Hold on. Fair enough. I fucking love both characters in that game. I actually really like the story of that game. I really like the story of Deathloop. But given the fact that this came out in 2021, given the world we currently live in, there is absolutely the highest goddamn chance that game got brownie points just for having a black protagonist. Which I'm thankful that there is a black protagonist, once again, because he's a good fucking character. I love the fact that he curses up a storm more than I do. Because he actually sounds like a real fucking human being. But in my opinion, and it seems like Jubei actually agrees with me, it got brownie points for that. Alright, hold on. Kofi.
Only
80,
can get
Kofi,
that same grade.
80, score of 80. Please elaborate. I'm actually going to start the fucking timer now.
My only excuse was based on the reputation I've seen from friends and fans. Reggie and Pharaoh, we have a very good friend. I don't try to name people on the podcast, but he loves Prey. He loved obviously Deathloop, and he loved the straight what was it called, Dishonored and Dishonored 2. And then I see all these good reviews, and I see this whole community behind the Arcane games. So I was thinking these guys can't drop off more than 10 points from their last game, right? Because they're focusing now on a single console. I know PC too, and I don't know. It just they have a lot of resources and they have a lot of experience. It's not like they change genres. And there are other examples of how multiplayer kill the enemy type of games should go. I feel like there's a lot of notes you can take. I'm always thinking of something like Left 4 Dead, but I know this game is not Left 4 Dead, so sorry to say that. But I'll take the L on that, guys. I just thought they would at least be at 80. Deathloop was not a sequel. Right, it is just the experience that they had. Now, of course, a lot of mechanics are very similar.
Technically, it takes place in a Dishonored world, apparently.
Right, but a lot of what they fleshed out and a lot of the mechanics were not absolutely taken from something like Dishonored 2. A lot of mechanics are very similar. I will admit that. But still, shared universe. When I look at Redfall, even though it's a new IP, I don't know, man. So 60. So I was off by almost 20 points. It'll be the biggest L I've ever taken.
No what?
For a Metacritic prediction.
Kofi, I have a question.
Hold on. Wait, no. Omar, you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
to
yeah.
speak in 2 seconds.
I stopped.
I will add, though, Kofi, to your point before we move on to the next one, because, again, it's research here. They didn't drop 10 points. They actually gained points.
Oh, it's back up?
Oh, no. You said
Redfall
that you didn't. You
right
said they dropped 10 points from their previous game. No, they didn't drop points. They gained 10 points
Youngblood?
because their previous game that came out, Cyberpilot, scored a Metacritic score of 50 on PlayStation 4 and 54 on PC.
Technically, Deathloop came out after Cyberpilot.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. Actually, fuck, I forgot Deathloop because that's a good
that's
game.
what I was saying.
And, but to be fair, that was made by Leon, not Austin.
See, that was my question. Was that the same dev? So it's not.
No,
That's crazy.
No, they have different teams. Yeah.
Yeah, there's Leon and
see,
Austin.
that was what my question was. That's crazy, man. Oh man. So, what's the last thing that Austin has made?
Well, I just fucking told you.
Oh, okay. Now I'm caught up. Wow. Okay, so I see. If I had known this, here's the thing. I don't
Could've
really
changed
care.
his mind.
Now I'm like upset. But here's the thing. I respect the overall idea of what Arcane has produced, regardless of the studio. But if I had known, if it's a whole like Eidos Montreal versus Eidos, I don't know, Europe, I would have done a little more research. But they're
Kofi.
not.
This is why you
The
always
series
do
is not
research. This is why I champion research on the VGP.
But can you not believe your own eyes? That's what I'm genuinely curious about. Have you not seen the gameplay
Okay,
for
Omar.
this?
Yeah,
before?
go ahead, Omar. Give your piece then. God damn it. You got
Yeah,
5
Well,
minutes.
I'll let you go, Omar. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm genuinely asking you, Kofi. Have you not seen the gameplay for Redfall yet, or how the visuals look like?
So you're right. The gameplay does not look very appealing to me, but I've never found it interesting to me. Deathloop did not interest me, and Dishonored 2 did not interest me. So when I look at those games and I say, well, it's a turn off to me, I don't want to. I use that. I look at that as bias. So then I ask people, why do they like mechanics? What makes the game so interesting? And I'm trying to keep my ear to the community, just to like what people say about the game. But I never looked to see how many teams there were, just because it's just an uninteresting. What they make is uninteresting to me. It just is.
Gotcha. Okay. As for me, when I first saw Redfall, I was excited. A new IP from Xbox. I'm curious what it's gonna be. And when I heard it could be almost like Borderlands X, I'm like, let's go, give it to me. I'm super excited for it. And then the gameplay was shown. At first, I'm like, okay, that looks interesting. I like what I'm seeing, especially how you're using your skills to elevate yourself and do some stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. And then you see the actual gameplay, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm out. Because this is absolutely not it. It felt like I was teleported back to PlayStation 3 era. Like in my opinion, people can disagree with me. Borderlands 2 look better than Redfall in certain areas, and oh boy, from everything I read, dull skills and everything like that, I'm like, one of the most important thing about Borderlands, and one of the reasons why I dislike Borderlands 3, is skills. If your skills are not on point, that kind of sucks when you're playing a game. And yes, you can shoot your enemies, but the fun is to make use of your skills. Taking point, for example, with Borderlands 3, Amara, she have the face lock ability, same as Maya. But unlike Maya, she can't do it from every distance, while Maya could. And that one different change made me absolutely hate Amara. I'm like, Maya is way better than you. I'm far away. I'm good distance away. I should be able to grab this fucker that is a flying target. With Maya, I can. Even further away, distance wise, but with Amara, I couldn't. So, and then one question for the panel. I would say.
Yeah, that's the general discussion. We'll get that
Okay,
to the Royal Rumble.
okay. I'll leave that to. But other than that, I'm surprised that it was released as such. It just absolutely needed 1, maybe 2 years in the oven. It shouldn't have been released whatsoever. And I'm gonna give it a benefit of the doubt. Let's say the day one patch come out and it magically restore it where, let's say, it's 80 on meta, then that's on effort.
Is he botting just for you, me, or just everybody?
No, he's botting for everybody.
Okay.
Am I
was worried
botting?
then. Yeah, you were botting.
Yeah.
Okay, now am I still botting?
No.
No, you're fine.
Okay, so I said, let's say there's a day one patch and it restores the game to, let's say, 80 on meta. Then I believe the publisher and the developer should be held responsible for that then, because you get only one chance to impress people with your game. And you need to, yeah, go in from the jump and impress people. But that's about it.
All right, Pharaoh, your thoughts?
Oh, it's unfortunate that this game is coming out in such a poor state. But I don't know. I kind of keep the same energy for all games, and when it comes to these games, at this point, I'm just like, playing them day one is just not for me. Because of the issues that we see with Redfall and now the Star Wars game and just games that have been coming out recently, most have not come out optimized and in pretty good shape. So unless you absolutely love a franchise, I just can't commit. That $70 or $60 price tag to these games when they're not giving me the game in the best possible state at launch. Maybe the game isn't as bad as they say. Once all these issues are resolved, maybe it's more of a 70 to a 75 type game. But games don't get re-reviewed, so that's why you come out with your best foot forward.
Yeah. Zero, any thoughts?
I'm shocked. Honestly, I'm unfortunately very shocked. I got to play Redfall a bit earlier than when it came out. And fully aware of that, it's not exactly the final version. But I had a good time with it. And granted, I didn't play long, nor was I playing to deep dive into be like, what are the mechanics and how does this work? I understood an overview of how the game played. And I had a good time with it. I guess I disagree with Omar's points about the powers. I thought the powers to be very fun. I liked the characters overall. I liked their interactions with each other. The town, I like the town of Redfall itself. It's kind of cool, and I like the skill tree. I think that's kind of dope as well. When I played, it had some, as usual, problems with a game that is not completely finished yet. But nothing about it really stood out to me like it would be bad. I didn't necessarily get Deathloop vibes where I was like, this is fun. And I understand why this is fun. I understand why this game is getting reviewed as well as it did. Brownie points notwithstanding. But I'm shocked. I don't know, man. I can't believe it's just not. And maybe more people will get their hands on it and it will change the score. I don't know. But for it to be lower, right now it's sitting lower than Forspoken.
Yeah.
And not for nothing for Forspoken, but I barely heard anything good about that game.
Except from Omar.
The review embargo is 11 p.m., so some of these reviews are coming out earlier than they should.
That's what I was thinking.
So,
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
fuck, no,
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if I stand alone on this, but fuck Bethesda's bullshit review embargo on this.
but everyone has a review. Everyone has a review embargo.
No, I'm sorry, but check the embargo on Deathloop. It was not like this.
I mean, we can.
Yeah.
They knew that this
like,
is not good, and they wanted to prevent
Let's
people
see.
from knowing. Because they've been giving takedown, what do you call it, for everyone and everything, including their own logo got taken down by
So-
themselves.
Really quick,
Hold
can I
on.
go back to Reggie just as you can talk to this? Do you think that
I didn't even get my
this game was
point.
already delayed? Or I'm sorry, this is just for Reggie to come
Yeah.
across. 'Cause I know he was playing the demo. You think that this game needed like maybe the rest of this year to optimize bugs, and there would be enough content there to make this a long-term game, or like what's your thought? Like, how close do you think they would have been to the finish line? Because it was, it already being delayed, I think, is where my question's coming from.
Yeah, I there's a part of me that thinks yes, but like really not by much. Like,
What do you mean?
I'm not-
I did look it up. 1 second.
Deathloop's
review embargo date
Deathloop's
was September
embargo.
13th.
Deathloop's
Was September
embargo
13th.
at 5 a.m. 12 hours before its release.
12 hours before the game dropped. Yep.
The Doom
Yeah.
Eternal embargo was 3 days before release, and Ghostwire Tokyo's was 4 days before release.
So it's all about
day
how
before.
confident you are with your IP. That's it.
I mean, well, Deathloop reviewed very well, and the
But
review
still,
embargo
that
was
was
about the same time.
Again, the reviews again. The release was 12. It was literally half a day before the game's release. That's still enough time.
September
for people to
13th. I don't have the timestamp.
I
but
do.
it's
I do.
September
It was
13th. Yeah,
the embargo was released was lifted at 5 a.m.
Yeah, what the name? OpenCritic gave the timestamp.
Okay. So,
yeah, like I don't
still the day
like,
before.
If it's
Like-
like this, 0, don't you think this is at least needed 1 year, maybe even 2 years in the oven?
I mean,
They already gave it a fucking year. Like, come on. At this
Yeah,
point,
and
Microsoft was
it's
like, get that
broken.
shit out.
You
Like,
don't
it's not
release
worth.
it.
It's not worth throwing the money at it right now. I mean,
So
I don't fucking know.
this is this
Hold
is
on,
a
save the
similar-
melee. Save the fucking melee for after I'm done getting my point out. Because I'm giving my point. I let Jubei go first on this one because he was the one who was going. Him and Kofi were the ones who were going to be the most humble about this. I'm not. I'm standing on my fucking soapbox for this one because I called this one a while ago. So
I call it as well. Like I believe in my own eyes.
When I first saw the first CG trailer, I thought, okay, interesting concept, and then left it at that. When the gameplay trailer came out, I watched it with my peeps because my friend Michael Executioner brought it to my attention first. We watched it, and goddamn, that looks so mid-card, or I might as well have been calling it the fucking Brooklyn Brawler. It looks so fucking mid.
Or Dolph Ziggler.
Or Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, it was so goddamn mid-card. Alright? And then obviously my prior knowledge of like what Arcane had worked on, I was looking at this and I was like, okay, maybe it's the negative part of my brain, but I'm seeing way too much of Wolfenstein, the Youngbloods, and the bad parts of that fucking game. Alright? I'm seeing way too much of that. Like, the powers are cool, but the problem is when you look at this as a general whole, the bullets don't look like they're having any goddamn fucking impact. Alright, there's not going to be clearly didn't seem to be many enemies on the screen. How spongy are the fucking enemies going to be? Because that's always a problem with these kinds of games. Like, just everything was setting off red flags. And when I brought up the fact that me and Michael thought it was mid, Jubei fucking crucified me for it. He fucking crucified me for it. Now, I genuinely feel bad for Xbox having to shovel this out because, once again, we brought this up one of the podcasts a day or two, like a week or two ago. Like, this game needed to come out good. This game needed to come out at least hitting 75. Otherwise, that goddamn excuse of of Game Pass just being for fucking shovelware is gonna start holding a lot more weight to the point where it's gonna start fucking sinking. Like the Titanic would go down slower than this. Alright? Now I'm also looking before you rebuke, let me explain that. Like, because there's already that idea floating around that Xbox is only for shovelware. Or good good AA games like Hi-Fi Rush. We all agree Hi-Fi Rush is great. Like, amazing. Second coming of Jesus Christ in Jube's opinion.
It's a man Wolong.
But when you look, once AAA games like this start coming out and they look and act the way that this is, like that's not good. Like that's not a good look. And Microsoft shouldn't be on the idea of we've spent enough money, get it out there, because the moment you start putting in that mentality, that opens the fucking floodgates.
Mm-hmm.
That opens some fucking floodgates. By the way, Steam now has it. Steam itself, through reviews, has it at a 27%. Ouch. So yeah, like this is not the look that Microsoft needs to be going into 2023 with. They really don't, because now this is going to cast a disturbing shadow over Starfield. Like, yes, people are still going to be hyped for Starfield, but there's now going to be that asterisk next to the name, because remember, this is a Bethesda Softworks published game now as well. This is not a good look. Like Microsoft is getting hit by that proximity hate because of this.
I have a question for you.
Now we can have general discussion. So now, Omar, you can now ask that question without always interrupting. Now, go on.
Come on, everyone is interrupting. So with this being released the way it is, and the leaker that leaked Hi-Fi Rush claims that Starfield and Redfall development are in rough shape, how bad is Starfield going to be? I shared with you the link to the article.
Oh, hold on. You mean that jackass that said that they lost a bunch of money on cloud and that's the reason why this game is trash? If you don't get that goddamn awful take out of this damn show, sir. The asshole that leaked that was talking about Starfield and Redfall, he also said the reason why there's dev issues with that is because Microsoft lost a lot of money on Azure Cloud, so they're just trying to rush the games out. And I'm like, the earnings reports don't even say that. As soon as I read that shit, I'm like, everything else you said was invalidated by that shit, bro. Stop it.
Where is that?
Read it. Obviously, you only read the part talking about the games. You have to read the whole thing in all of its context.
I will need.
I already gotten somebody's ass on Twitter.
Give me the receipts on that one, Jube. I need to see that so I can read it myself while y'all are having it out.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll find it.
Thank you.
I shared with you the article, but I don't see anything about.
He's not on about that. He's on about something you previously shared from this same guy. If it is the same guy,
it is the same guy.
But yeah, like this is not a look. Again, I want people's opinions on this. Like, is this a bad look for Game Pass? Because this is their first trip. No, this isn't. Is this their first? Yeah, this is their first party AAA game to come out in 2023, and it's like this. Is this a bad look for Xbox and Game Pass?
It's not Game Pass. It's Xbox management. Like I've been saying for the longest,
Xbox doesn't manage Bethesda shit. They manage themselves.
No.
Yes.
No,
yes.
Okay. Well, hold on. By the way, when I also, I should clarify, when I mean a bad look for Microsoft, I mean a bad look in terms of they should have their shit with Bethesda under more control than they're allowing them to get away with.
I'll agree with that.
Again,
what do you mean it makes no sense? They're hands off. They've said they've been hands off.
It makes no sense. When you buy a company, yes, you are the fucking owner of the company. You're the one responsible for what's doing.
This game existed for years before they were fucking bought.
So
and it's still like this. It's still like this. It was either scrap it. It was either scrap it or give us something. It was either scrap it or give us something. They chose to give us something.
After
I don't care
Microsoft
I don't care where it launched. This shit would have been ass on PlayStation.
So how the fuck do you call that being what do you want to say? Go ahead, Pharaoh.
Timeout.
The whole point of purchasing a publisher was so that they can run and operate independently, the same way that the reason Sony published Bungie was so that they could run and operate independently. So when Lightfall released,
No,
as a
different.
shitty
It's
DLC,
different.
no.
No, the
Destiny
difference
is
is
Bungie
is staying multiplayer.
Okay.
The Bungie is staying multiplayer.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It does
They still
matter,
work
though. It does
No, it
matter.
doesn't. It's content.
It absolutely does matter.
No, it doesn't. If you release bad content, you release bad content. It doesn't matter if it's multi-plat or if it's like the content is the content. Whether if it's bad, it's bad. It doesn't matter.
When you go out of your way to start a PlayStation 5 version, you are literally controlling the company. Then it's over. They literally said, "Scrap the PlayStation 5 version. We're gonna focus on Xbox version only."
You control where it distributes.
Because you're the fucking publisher now. You can tell them where to put this because you're paying for it.
So you are
they're not the publisher.
Bethesda's
still the publisher. Bethesda's still the publisher. Microsoft is just the owner.
So Bethesda could have said. So Bethesda could have said no.
They could have. They released Fallout 76. They weren't gonna fucking say no.
They control
what platforms that the games go to, but Bethesda still operates independently. The whole point of them purchasing Bethesda was so that new IPs would be exclusive to their platform.
Microsoft could have.
They still operate independently,
easily said no.
Just like LinkedIn operates independently. Like there's other companies that Microsoft owns that operates independently. Nuance operates independently. When they purchase these companies, when they purchase these larger companies, it's so that they can run independently. Yes, they're still owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft gives the big overhead guidance, but they're not day-to-day managing these larger companies that they purchased because they purchased them because they were self-sustaining.
How is it self? You're literally purchasing a company.
Is Bethesda able to run independent? Was Bethesda able to run independent of a Microsoft? Were they able to run and distribute their product independent of Microsoft?
Before Microsoft bought them, they were literally known to be called Bethesda. Yeah.
But that doesn't change.
No. Let me explain something.
Question. Were they able to operate independently prior to Microsoft purchasing them?
Before, yeah.
Okay, that's why Microsoft purchased them, because they could run.
No, but you purchased a company that's known to be called Bethesda. The first thing I would literally make sure that name is disappeared and no longer exists.
Okay,
I make sure to make sure. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm probably gonna take an L from somebody here, but I'm actually gonna agree with Omar on this one. Because Kofi, I'm dragging your ass into this because we've talked. Because you have the absolute biggest hate boner for Bethesda here.
I do.
And I'm talking raging fucking 6 days of straight Viagra hate boner. I do actually somewhat agree with what Omar said, given prior events to what prior to the publishing, with the with all of their games coming out with really bad bugs on releases, with the whole Fallout 76 controversy, with their whole bullshit with sending out moldy fucking
the bags. Oh, yeah.
No, not just the bags, but the T-51 power armor helmets that actually had toxic mold inside. And then also them literally leaking everybody's goddamn fucking information when they tried to get the bags back. Like, given everything that was going on at Bethesda, I am kind of on Omar's side when he says the moment Microsoft did that, bought them, they should have installed some people there to oversee making sure that the company lost the name Bugfester so that guys like Kofi would come back.
You're you're preaching right now. You want to say something, Omar? Go ahead.
I mean, I think
one
that's
last
kind of a reach at the same time, though, because Deathloop released well, Hi-Fi Rush released well.
Deathloop did not release Squeaky. It did not release all that well. I mean, there were
Deathloop didn't.
It released well. It released good enough. It reviewed well. It released into a good game.
I mean, I think you're right. It deserves its flowers for the review it got, but I think my criticism comes from the engine that these games run on, right? Because Starfield's going to run on the same thing that Fallout used, correct?
It's running on a modified Creation Engine 2.0. Right. The same engine that's been going since fucking Morrowind, yes.
Right! Since the original Xbox! The original! How is that possible? And when they, I think you and I talked about this, because when they announced that they were making improvements to that engine for Starfield, this was
no.
You and I had this talk years ago.
Kofi, to correct you, when the first inklings of the engine first came out, the inklings that everybody, the things that were coming out is that it was going to be a brand new engine.
Oh. Okay, I did not remember that.
That was the first thing that came out. So when it came to Starfield, and when the rumors started coming out, the first things that came out was it's going to be running on a brand new engine.
Okay.
Turns out that technically, by technicality, it kind of is, but it isn't because it's working off the original framework of Creative Engine.
Right.
Now there's rumors coming out that Bethesda will be dropping the Creation Engine after Starfield.
Starfield.
Which I don't. Okay, which, if that is to be believed, that's for one of two reasons. One, they realize that they can't do anything else with that engine, or B, that engine, they've already started so far with the Creation Engine with Starfield that they couldn't fucking drop it, so they're just gonna leave in whatever bugs and shit are in there.
Or C, maybe Microsoft bought them.
No,
could be.
No, Microsoft. No, if Microsoft was gonna force anything, which again kind of goes to that hands-off nature that I feel like they had at least a fucking pinky in the Bethesda pool right now. If Microsoft had any inkling of what was going on at Bethesda, and if it does release, if Starfield does release in a buggy state on the level of fucking Skyrim, I'm not talking about the level of Fallout 76, because I mean you'd have to be fucking incompetent to do that shit twice in a row. But if it comes out as bad as Skyrim did at launch, I believe even Microsoft would have been like, yeah, that engine will eat the cost, but you're not using that fucking engine on what is going to be our flagship game. The game that we are literally going to promote a whole fucking year to building up. Like, this is going to be our next Halo. This is going to be our RPG franchise going forward.
Or Starfield.
Starfield.
Oh, Starfield.
Like, I think you brought up a really good point. I'm sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained. You had said something that really jumped out at me 2 conversations back. I'm sorry, I totally forgot. Something you had said, Dante.
Just remind me, what was my flow at the time, and I'll remember it.
You were saying something about how Starfield was going to be...
Yes. The original things that came out about Starfield when it was starting to get made was the fact that it was going to be on a brand new engine. But then later when the first trailer came out, which I think announced it for 11/11/21, or even maybe a bit or maybe some before that. But I think it was definitely 11/11 for the 11/11/21 trailer. Or was it 11/11/22? I can't remember which trailer it was, but that confirmed that it was the Creation Engine 2.0.
Okay. And I was just going to say, so with that type of change, whether they end up getting rid of the engine or not, well, I'll just say this really quick. If that does end up true, I kind of like that idea. I think making new engines for gaming in 2020 plus is thoughtful because there's so much more to consider than building on old engines that were made for old tech with things that we don't consider anymore. But when I look at how those mechanics never evolved game to game, like when I look at like from Skyrim, I'm sorry, not from Skyrim, from Oblivion to Skyrim, and I just didn't. There's something about the combat mechanics that just feels so off-putting to me and the style of gameplay I like to see. I can't say it's better than like I'm going to compare it to like Tales of Xillia, because Tales of Xillia came out the same year as what's it called? Skyrim. They're completely different mechanics for different people who like different things, but the way hit detection works or the way animations look, it just doesn't work for me. It just looks ugly to me. And I don't know if it'll change a little bit. I remember, and here's the reason I think that I always hate on Bethesda is I try to get excited about the games. When 76 got announced, I think I may have been on this podcast. Like, you know what? Maybe I might try it. Nah, I get shot. I shoot myself in the foot. Same thing with Fallout 4. I pre-ordered Fallout 4. Had that thing installed day one. Hated it. It just keeps happening. And the game is, either super uninteresting combined with being broken in some way that just pisses me off. So, yeah, it does add salt to the wound.
Okay, one last thing.
Again, those issues can be leaned onto. A lot of those issues can be leaned onto the engine because, again, most of those fucking not most, all of the bugs that are present in like Fallout 76, like Wendigo Man, were present in fucking Morrowind. Never
that was
Wendigo
what to say.
Never forget Wendigo Man. I'm going to bring up a picture of Wendigo Man so people never fucking forget.
And one last thing I want to say is Todd Howard. I don't remember which E3 it was. He was on stage saying, I read that our games have bugs in them. So, I read that on internet, so it must be true. He was literally making fun out of the state of his own game, but not criticizing the game releases broken and messy. No, but the fans that are complaining about it. And I'm like, if you're Microsoft, the second you think you're gonna buy Bethesda, you need to do something about all of that.
Hold on. I know Jubei is chomping at the bits because he's wanted to say something for a while. He has. So I want Jubei to get his piece out on this live discussion before we move on, and then you, Zero, then we'll move on. By the way, Wendigo Man. Never forget.
Yep. I was gonna say, I think honestly they cut their losses and just released it. Because like I said, this game has been in development for several years prior to this acquisition. And from just the reads, the reviews, it's like I think some of the looter shooter shit might have, come from parent company now. Trying to get this out the door, but maybe this game probably should have just been a single player game, to be honest. And maybe it wouldn't have been so fucking bad. Like maybe it wouldn't feel so empty as far as the world, because that's also the biggest complaint. Like there's like
I doubt that late into development they put
going
they got their hands into it like that.
I don't know, something or like I said, I honestly just like they just shoved it out the door. They're like, bro, like we can't give you another year. Like,
yeah,
if this is what it is, this is what it is. We will cut our losses and move on.
See what I don't like.
Look at the marketing, but like, bro, like what major game from them only has marketing a week leading up to the game? Like, there's been zero fucking marketing for this game.
True.
There's been zero fucking marketing for this game, which is very fucking strange. Do you know how bugged, like how much they were bugging the fuck out of us when like Horizon 5 was about to come out? We were seeing commercials for that for months ahead of time. Like, they gave us 1 week of marketing. The shit does not even show up on recently added in Game Pass. Like, bro, like they just cut their losses and they're like, here's the fucking game.
Hey,
cool.
At least FC Violent's gonna be happy. It is scoring less than his favorite game of all time, Bleeding Edge.
Is it? Oh, that's even worse. That's even fucking worse.
Yeah.
I was at least hoping it would beat that. I was at least hoping it would beat
Bleeding
that.
Edge is at 66.
Really quick. I haven't read the article yet. I just want to throw this out there. Engadget posted their top line for the article review for Redfall. good enough for Game Pass. But I
Oh,
hate.
see, that's what I'm talking about.
yeah.
That
I
right
hate
there
that
is what I'm
expression.
talking about.
Yeah, I
And
don't like it for two reasons,
that's
right?
the other thing that pisses me off, because it's like, I don't want you to associate this service with bad things, because there are great games in this service.
Right.
I have read.
Right.
Hi-Fi Rush.
You literally
Hi-Fi Rush would not
said
exist.
it so. You literally said it so. At least I'm not paying $50 for it.
Like,
So it's in Game
and
Pass.
it sucks I have to do, but like, I'm thankful for that option, because I would be pissed if I spent $70 on this
But-
and this is what I got. I would have been mad.
You're hating on something you literally said yourself, and I've seen it other people mentioning it.
I
At
didn't
least
say
in Game
it,
Pass.
but I didn't say that.
better
I'm saying
than buying an
it's
Avengers
better me
or
wasting
Forspoken
$70 that I can't get back, because once I
Or
open
a
a
Jump
game, I'm
Force.
not going to get a refund for it.
See, my
So-
my problem is I'd be pissed off if I spent any kind of money. Because here's the thing: there is the expression, "Time is fucking money."
I was
It is,
about to say so. I would be
my
pissed if I-
dumbass would have bought it digitally, so I really would have got fucked, because I wouldn't have been able to
Can't trade it in. Right.
I played
Well,
Battletoads, and I
Xbox has a
want
pretty
my.
good-
Go ahead, Pharaoh.
Go ahead, Pharaoh.
I was saying Xbox has a pretty good return policy. You could have got your
Listen,
money.
I played Genshin Impact and I wanted my money back.
I played Battletoads, and I wanted my money back, or rather, my time back. That shit was atrocious.
I'm like that old guy from The Simpsons. You wasted 5 minutes of my life, and I want them
here's
back.
here's the sad
I
part.
just wasted it anyway.
Battletoads review better than this. Let that sink in.
Oh,
think Battletoads-
God.
Let
think
that
Battletoads
sink
is a
in.
bad game.
Battletoads beat this
I played-
game. Not that I like Battletoads. I was enjoying
Oh,
it.
I played
God.
I played Battletoads with my kids. It's not a bad
People was
game.
out here saying Battletoads was like the epitome of awful.
It was. It's the epitome of fucking evil.
Battletoads was
But-
horrendous to the point where I dropped it mid-game.
Oh yeah.
The only game this shit is beating, it's beating Crackdown 3, and it's beating fucking not Ghostfire, fucking Crossfire. That's it.
Wait till
God
all
damn.
the reviews come out. Like, I'm sure it'll land probably around 68-ish, 69-ish.
And that's sort of my question. though.
I won't even be that nice.
Here's
I'd say
why.
65.
Here's why it won't. Here's why it will stay at 65, because I see 17 mixed fucking reviews to 6 positives. That's why. Even Battletoads got more fucking positive reviews than that.
Well, you got
Battletoads got 42 positive and
Now,
only 23.
Jube,
It's that mix to positive. It's that mix to positive that's important.
Jube,
If
before
that's
we need to
skewed-
move on. We need to move on. But here's the thing, Jube. When we come back next week, I don't want you to turn around. I don't want this to color your experience, and I don't want you playing this game trying to force yourself to enjoy it. I want legit opinions next week of this, right?
I'm genuinely curious.
Like,
How about you play with
I
them?
don't want this to be a case of, oh, I mean, this AI is retarded as hell, but I didn't pay full price. It's on Game Pass. Like, I don't want to hear any. I don't want you in that mindset. I don't want it. I don't want you to be influenced by anything else. I want your goddamn opinion on this, right?
Okay.
How about you play with them to?
Because Dante doesn't have Game
to
Pass.
be
That's how he can't play with me.
Nope, I don't have Game Pass. Like I said, here's the thing. Again, this is an example of this. If I had Game Pass and I played this, I'd still want my money back. Because my time is, because everybody here's got jobs, everybody here's got other shit to do, but my time is precious in my life, given everything that I fucking do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't waste my time on bullshit like this.
I feel you. Zero, what's your thoughts? Because you've been. Can we go to Zero? Because you never.
Yeah, Zero didn't get his fault out. Be quick, Zero, please.
Then I mean we can move on. It's not that important. My general consensus is I don't know what we're asking for here. In the sense of like, are we using meta or Metacritic, or are we using what people are saying? Because it's like, once again, I bring up Forspoken. When people played the demo, people were loving the demo. When the game came out, all of a sudden the game is trash. But are we saying that if we're just basing it off Metacritic, that Battletoads is better than Forspoken?
From a gameplay loop standpoint, maybe, because my biggest issue with Battletoads was predominantly for the fucking art style.
Right. So.
Sorry. Okay, YouTube had a bit of a fuck up. Then we got disconnected for a second. Then we're okay. We should be fine now. But yeah, no. YouTube hit a bit of a snack. Then go ahead. Continue, please, about Battletoads and how it is actually superior to Redfall.
I mean, Redfall will be what Redfall is, and I can't speak on it because the full game hasn't been out yet, so I haven't been able to engage it. But Forspoken Redfall will probably wind up right around the same score as Forspoken. Functionally, will make them the same game. I mean, I'm just very curious, is all. I know part of it is like because it's an Xbox first party title, when it's in Game Pass, and it's all that sort of energy around it. But like, if you bring up Battletoads, that is the worst game you've ever played, but you played Forspoken, which is like just hands down seems to be across the board a worse game than Battletoads. Then like,
Who
what are
played
we judging
Forspoken?
anything based off of?
I played the demo for
Allow me to
Forspoken.
retort with we do need to move on, but allow me to retort with how I would judge it. If I'm not having so with Battletoads, I could play that with friends and it would be fun. If I play Redfall and I'm not having fun with friends as I'm meant to, that would dock the score immensely for me. All right. So let's move on to...
Should you need friends to enjoy a game? Shouldn't you enjoy a game without friends?
I agree. I do somewhat agree with that sentiment, but moving on.
But last sentence, I promise.
Liar.
Is Halo co-op better than playing solo?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes,
not Halo 2. Not Halo 2. Not Halo 2.
I'm not talking about Halo 2.
You said Halo. Is it better co-op? I can turn around and say Halo.
I said Halo as in Combat Evolved, Halo 1.
I still disagree. I think all co-op Halo is better than single
yes.
player.
Okay. Absolutely. Thank you.
Not in my opinion, because 2's got fucking Iron Skull on, and I gotta drag some motherfuckers to the end of a goddamn fucking thing, and I gotta worry about my friend jumping up. I have a fucking clip of me telling my friend to hold up. The fucker jumps, gets headshot by a jackal, and then we gotta restart the whole fucking thing. I have evidence of that happening. So no,
that's not Halo's fault.
How bad is a Halo game? No. I have a question then. How bad is a Halo game if you need friends to enjoy it?
You don't need friends to enjoy it. It's just better enjoyed with
no, then it's Halo 5. Anyway, moving on.
Okay.
Microsoft VR? Question mark. So we have this. We have the Invisible Elites. Yeah, exactly. So we have this article from Game Rant. I'm now showing everybody. Yeah, Microsoft could be working on its own VR device. Could have sworn it's not technically not. The one that they have isn't. It's an AR. It's more of an AR machine, augmented reality, than an actual VR headset. So yeah, Microsoft has filed a new patent that could be relevant to potential future VR headset. While the company has been embroiled in an ongoing Activision Blizzard acquisition that saw the Microsoft president criticize the CMA, don't worry, we'll get to that, for blocking the deal. There seems to be plenty of other things going on behind the scenes, even though the Activision Blizzard deal appears to be taking up a lot of time and effort. As of writing, PlayStation is the only home console that boasts VR capability, although the PlayStation VR 2, even Nintendo has dabbed in VR, albeit on a much smaller scale than with one of its Labo kits. That's cardboard, not VR. That includes the buildable enclosure for the Switch that can be held in the player's face. Unfortunately, Nintendo Labo didn't really catch on with players. Even Sony's PSVR 2 has not met the company's expectations in terms of sales. Microsoft has not shown much interest in VR, and it could be said that the space is dominated by the likes of Sony, Meta, and Valve. The new patent from Microsoft for an enhanced eye-tracking system could potentially be used as part of a future VR headset. The patent describes the system as a self-calibrating and also accommodating for deformations and other changes to the device. While this patent might not look much like a VR headset, a solid eye-tracking system that can self-calibrate and compensate it for deformations could form part of an interactive and user-friendly VR system. The patent could simply be an improvement on Microsoft's HoloLens, which is an augmented reality technology used by the US Army, among others. Microsoft seems to be doing their utmost to keep Xbox gaming platforms as relevant and competitive as possible, An Xbox-branded VR headset might still be a long ways off, but it is likely that Microsoft wants to be competitive in the VR space as it gains traction in the mainstream gaming market. Microsoft has recently experimented with the handheld mode that would allow Windows to be used more comfortably on devices like a Steam Deck. However, this is reportedly a prototype that didn't go much of anywhere, according to the developer behind it. Patents don't always materialize into consumer products, but the enhanced eye tracking system seems like a sensible piece of technology that has a better chance of making it into consumer products than some of the more esoteric patents that get filed from time to time. Recently, Sony threw shade at Microsoft in one of its patents by referring to different home entertainment systems as inferior manufacturers, evidencing a poor relationship between the companies. And remember not too long ago, we had the heads of all three fucking companies on stage at the VGAs. Fucking hell, what a more peaceful fucking time. Like, god damn, that was more
Reggie
peaceful
was in
times.
charge.
Yeah, when Reggie Fils-Aimé when Reggie, my body is ready, Fils-Aimé was in charge. When Jim Ryan was nowhere near close to getting into that position, and Phil Spencer was just becoming the friendly face of Xbox that everybody could love. And now he is the devourer of souls. God damn, those were simpler times. Right, so I could only, if Microsoft is going to enter the VR space, if this is anything like it, self-calibration would actually be really interesting, but that would have to require some form of AI learning to be able to do that. God, I wish fucking Nappy was here right now. If they're going to get into the VR space, they need to be smart about it and not limit it just to fucking Xbox, because they will not see a return on investment as far as R&D and manufacturing. They need to make this open to both PC and console, unlike what PlayStation. Jube, please give us your thoughts on why you think this is a nothing burger.
Oh, my bad. I was asleep. Yeah, it's a nothing burger.
Yep, thought so.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. They have VR. They have a headset capable of VR. Problem is, it's instead of going the VR route, it's the AR route, which I personally find.
No, it's VR and AR.
No, it's AR.
The HoloLens.
The HoloLens?
Yes. It is not VR.
It's AR.
It is AR.
AR
That's how it works. Like, it's not a closed off display. You're seeing those things displayed in the world around you. It's not.
Yep,
it's
a mixed reality. They call it mixed reality technology,
mixed reality.
But it is basically just
it's essentially AR, right? But I love it. It's just the fact that them headsets will never be consumerly viable at the prices that those headsets are.
No, that's why the U.S. Army has them.
Exactly. We're never gonna get those.
That's what the patents are for. It's for their.
What I could see is them getting into a partnership, because here's the thing: Microsoft is not going to make more hardware. That's not a Surface or an Xbox at this point. To get into this race, they're too far out of this race. That they partner with the Quest and give you access to or help, or maybe launch a studio that can make VR games for other headsets. Sure, they could do that, but I don't think that they're going to be in the hardware market for VR. I think if they do anything in VR, it's going to be software. They have the tech. Like, I mean, if you can build off what the HoloLens is, pretty sure they can develop VR games as well. But we're not going to see a Microsoft Xbox brand VR headset. It's not going to happen. Too far. They're too far gone. It's too late in the game for them to set aside the R&D to launch.
Sure, it's too late in the game. I mean, VR.
I mean, it is. How much is it going to be?
I mean,
to really compete right now, how much is this piece of?
I don't think they want to compete in a market that's that small at the moment.
Exactly, it doesn't make financial sense to do that. Like, they can make games. They can absolutely get into the gaming space and release onto these headsets. But
Their
they're
first job would be to make a game that a VR headset that rivals the VR2. If they
they're
can't do
not
that,
they're
then they
not
could.
going to make hardware in this tiny ass market. Is what we're saying.
The
They're just
market's not
going
big
to.
enough. Yeah, the market's not big enough, and it's not even VR
You're
two is
looking
not
at
even getting a ton of
several
support.
$billions in R&D and bullshit to make this headset.
Like the only VR
Only
headset
for this
that-
shit to go triple
okay,
wood
I
and
want
sell
decorum
70K.
here. I want decorum. Let Jubei talk.
I know it's if they do this, like I said, you're looking at several $billions in R&D and manufacturing costs and trying to push this out. And then not to mention, the cost from building the game, etc. And then marketing. Only for that shit to go sell like 20,000 fucking units. Like they're not gonna just torpedo their money like that. I don't think it's logical, and it's not gonna happen. If anything, software, they're not touching hardware. It's not gonna happen. We couldn't even get a streaming console, and you want them to make a fucking VR headset? We couldn't even get a streaming dongle to use Game Pass on. But you want them to make a VR headset. It is built, but they scrapped it. It's not coming out, is what I'm saying. They couldn't even do that, and you want them to make a VR headset.
When the parts get cheaper, it'll come out.
Alright, Farrell, give your thoughts then.
I don't think it's much of a. I don't think Microsoft's interested in entering VR. I think it's just for the HoloLens and expanding its features for their current client base that they sell that product to.
Zero?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, because there's no guarantee that VR will stick around much longer. Hell, there's no guarantee that Sony will continue to stick around with its VR plans. And if Sony drops out, Microsoft has no particular interest or need to do so. Or Microsoft just doesn't have a need to do so anyway. Like, all three don't have to all do the same things. Everybody can stay in their lane or just recognize this lane ain't for me. Sony and Microsoft combined can put out a dozen handhelds. They're not beating the Switch. Move on. Do something else.
Yeah, they can't compete in the handheld market. Nintendo will literally rake them over the coals every time.
I don't know that ROG Ally looking kind of fire.
That is the closest to a Microsoft headset we're going to get.
I mean, the PS Vita is fire. Just ain't good enough.
No,
it was fire. It just got no support. Sony said
it got
we're
no
just
support
gonna
outside of Japan.
They put that shit on the top shelf and never went back. That shit's dusty as fuck.
No one's gonna beat the Switch's price point, and that's gonna be the thing.
That's gonna be the hard thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Nintendo can't even beat it because they ain't even released a fucking follow up to it when they need to. Kofi, your thoughts?
Also, think it's not going to evolve into much. I think it would be nice to see two platform holders go face to face with their own unique hardware and software and try to expand the market together. But I just think Microsoft has other things they want to focus on in the next 5 years, and it's not a VR type of sale like having a whole new hardware be developed, released, like PSVR 2 just did.
Yeah.
The numbers are showing that people don't VR game that even have the headset.
Say again, Farrell?
I said the numbers are showing that people who buy VR headsets are not spending a lot of time gaming because they don't want to have to come home after a long day of doing whatever they did and then have to be interactive at that level of having to move around and,
my issue is just fucking green screen. I can't put it away because it's broke. It's constantly up. Alright, well, Omar, your thoughts?
I agree with Kofi, what he said.
Okay. I have one final thought on this. I do believe that they could work in conjunction with this could be something they patent and basically sell off the technology, license out the technology to make other things. Like maybe we will see a VR headset use this, but it definitely won't be made by Microsoft. Absolutely not. Oh Christ! All right. Well, I'm gonna go and get my painkillers because I know where this one's going. Fuck's sake. CMA blocks the Microsoft deal. Right. I'm going to read out from the official gov.uk. No, Jubei, the UK cannot be attacked. It cannot be struck by a fucking meteorite. As you've been
Yes, it
saying
can.
that it fucking should.
Yes, it can.
I'm still here. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, as soon as you go on vacation, we're gonna do a big trip when I hit 35, bro. We're gonna go. We're gonna get you out of there. We're gonna get you out of there, and that whole island will become a pillar of salt. I'm telling you.
You fucking shit.
spoken like a
Fucking
true
what was that? Sodom and Gomorrah. That's it. Looked at the carnage and turned into a fucking pillar of salt.
Spoken
Jesus.
like a true American.
Spoken. Yeah. They want to bomb us, but we don't even have any oil.
Hey, I didn't say bomb. I said space is going to do it. I ain't say it was going to be man.
So you're you're gonna reactivate Reagan's Star Wars program. Gotcha. I know my American history, bitch.
Okay. It can sink into the sea. How about that? Just like Florida.
Oh,
You and Florida can be on the bottom of the ocean.
To be fair, give it like another couple of years. We all will be.
Hey,
Anyway.
we don't want Amadeus to die as well. See, Jubei?
Oh,
See what you did?
you know. Hey, come for the do it big trip. We got you.
Do it. All right. So this is the press release from the CMA on the official gov.uk website. So I'm going to read this out. Microsoft Activision deal prevented to protect innovation and choice in cloud gaming. The CMA has provided Microsoft proposed purchase for Activision over concerns the deal would alter the future of fast-growing cloud gaming market, leading to reduced innovation and less choice for UK gamers over the years to come. The final decision to prevent the deal comes after the Microsoft proposed solution failed to effectively address the concerns of the cloud gaming sector outlined in the Competition and Markets Authority provisional findings published in February. Microsoft entered a $68.7 billion deal to Activision, one of the most popular video game publishers in the world. In July 2022, the CMA launched an in-depth review on how to deal with on the deal in September 2022, and in February 2023, provisionally found that the merger would make Microsoft even stronger in cloud gaming, stifling the competition in the growing market. The UK cloud gaming market is growing fast. Monthly active users in the UK more than tripled from the start of 2021 to the end of 2022. It is forecast to be worth over 11 billion globally and 1 billion in the UK by 2026. By the way of comparison, sales of recorded music in the UK in 2021 amounted to 1.1 billion. So it's nothing to sneeze at. Microsoft has a strong position in cloud gaming service, and the evidence available to the CMA showed that Microsoft would find it commercially beneficial to make Activision games exclusive to its own cloud gaming service. Microsoft already accounts for an estimated 60 to 70% of globally cloud gaming services, and has other important strengths in cloud gaming, from owning Xbox to leading PC operating systems, Windows, and the global cloud computing infrastructure, Azure, and Xbox cloud gaming. The deal would reinforce Microsoft's advantage in the market by giving it control over an important gaming content such as Call of Duty, Overwatch, and World of Warcraft. The evidence available to the CMA indicates that absent the merger, Activision would start providing games via cloud platforms in the foreseeable future. The cloud allows UK gamers to avoid buying expensive gaming consoles and PCs, and give them much more flexibility and choice as to how they play, allowing Microsoft to take a strong position in the cloud gaming market, just as it begins to grow rapidly, would risk undermining the innovation that is crucial to the development of these opportunities. The remedy... God damn, this is long. Fuck. The remedy. Microsoft submitted a proposal to address some of the concerns which the CMA examined in considerable depth. The proposed remedy sets out requirements governing that games must be offered by Microsoft to what platforms and on what conditions over a 10-year period. Such remedies as described as behavioral because they seek to regulate the behavior of the businesses involved in the merger, requiring them to behave in a way which may be contrary to their commercial incentives. This therefore takes the form of a type of ongoing regulation in the sector, replacing market forces in a growing and dynamic market with mandated regulatory obligations ultimately overseen and enforced by the CMA in the case at a global level. Microsoft's proposal contained a number of significant shortcomings connected with the growing and fast-moving nature of cloud gaming services. It did not sufficiently cover different cloud gaming service businesses models, including multi-game subscription services. It did not sufficiently open to providers who might wish to offer versions of games on PC operating systems other than Windows, because this was like Mac and Linux. So cloud gaming would pretty much be fucked there. It would standardize the terms of service of which games are available as opposed to them being determined by the dynamism and creativity of competition in the market, as would be expected in the absence of the merger. Given the remedy applies only to a defined set of Activision games, which can be streamed over only in a defined set of cloud gaming services, provided they are purchased in a defined set of online stores, there is significant risk of disagreement and conflict between Microsoft and cloud game service providers, particularly over a 10-year period in a rapidly changing market. Accepting Microsoft's remedy would eventually require some degree of regularity oversight by the CMA. By contrast, preventing the merger could effectively allow market forces to continue to operate and shape the development of cloud gaming without this regulatory intervention. Considering the potential benefits of the merger, the CMA carefully considered whether the benefits of having Activision's content available on Game Pass outweighed the harm that the merger could cause the competition in cloud gaming in the UK. The CMA found that this new payment option, while beneficial to the customers, would not outweigh the overall harm to competition and ultimately the UK gamers arising from this merger, particularly. Fuck's sake, sorry, can't read. My eyes are getting strained from all this fucking white I'm staring at. Particularly given the incentive for Microsoft to increase the cost of Game Pass subscriptions post-merger to reflect the addition of Activision's valuable games. Martin Coleman, chairman of the independent panel of experts conducting this investigation, said, Gaming is the UK's largest entertainment factor. Cloud gaming is growing fast for the potential to change gaming by altering the way games are played, freeing people from the need to rely on exclusive consoles and gaming PCs, and giving them more choice over how and where they play games. This means that it is vital that we protect competition in the emerging and exciting market. Microsoft already enjoys a powerful position and head start over the competitors in cloud gaming, and this deal would strengthen that advantage, giving it the ability to undermine new and innovative competitors. Microsoft engaged constructively with us to try and address these issues, and we are grateful for that. But their proposal were not effective to remedy concerns and would have replaced competition with ineffective regulations in a new dynamic in a new and dynamic market. Cloud gaming needs a free competitive market to drive innovation and choice. This is the best achieved by allowing the current competitors' dynamics in cloud gaming to continue to do their job. Notes from the editor. For media contact the CMA post office. There's the number. Microsoft is a global technology company offering a wide range of products and services with a global turnover of 125 billion. the financial year 2021. Since 2021, it has sold various generations of Xbox consoles. Gamers typically download digital copies of the games they want to play on Xbox and Microsoft's Microsoft Xbox Store. Microsoft also offer multi-game subscription services, Xbox Game Pass, where gamers pay a monthly fee to gain access to a library of games. Activision Blizzard is the developer and publisher of a global turnover of $6.3 billion in the fiscal year of 2021, with over $700 million of this in the UK. It develops popular game content for consoles, PC, and mobile, which includes titles like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Candy Crush. In an important update to its provisional findings, the CMA has said in March that it provisionally has no concerns about the impact of the deal on the console market. This follows analysis which found that the Microsoft would not have a financial incentive to make Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox. The CMA has today concluded that the deal may not be expected to result in a significant lessening of competition in the console service in the UK. Right, there we go. That was a fucking mouthful. Hold on.
Who's going first? Because I need to get this out of the way.
Let me get my thoughts out first, then I'll go to you. Have my goddamn way.
No. I'll actually let me go last. I need everybody else to paint themselves into a corner.
Right. So I had no dog in this fight. I did not. I'm a PC gamer, and I buy my games. I don't cloud them because honestly, at the moment, even though it is a fast accelerating market, considering how fast Microsoft is seemingly trying to push it, given their deal with Samsung to get their cloud gaming on Samsung TVs, and in other markets as well, given also mobile cloud gaming and stuff like that. Like, they're really trying to push the cloud. I really had no dog in this fight, but I've been saying for fucking ages that the CMA was going to block this deal. I have said for fucking ages. I have been raked over hot coals. I have been lambasted. I have been damn near keelhauled for a turn around and saying that the CMA will block this deal. And all I can really say is, booyah, bitches. Like I said, I did not care one way or another about this deal. I really don't. Shut up, Omar. I'm talking. I have the toothpick. I talk. I really did not care one way or another if this deal went through or not. I just like the fact that I was fucking right again, because now hopefully people start listening to what I say, because I clearly am the gaming Jesus, because I can predict it. I will take my solid gold statue in the middle of Times Square now, thank you. Now, here's the thing. A lot of other people have all the important players. A lot of important players in the gaming space have not gone one way or another as far as accepting this deal or not. Because let's be clear here. I will look up the countries that have accepted Activision deal. I will look at the countries that have accepted this. I believe one of them is Saudi Arabia, I think. Another one is Brazil. Like, these are not major players in the gaming space.
That's a lie. Brazil is huge. But go on.
It's not one of the biggest. It's not even in the top 15 last time I checked.
Go on.
Like, not all of these countries have not got massive gaming markets. Like, they don't. Like, yeah, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, Chile, Serbia, Japan is one of them. I will give Japan one because apparently they did agree. And South Africa. You wouldn't even
give Japan one.
I'll give them one because of Japan. I will give them one. But honestly, I feel like a lot of people a lot of regulators were waiting to see what other big regulators were going to say.
Yep.
Like, a lot of the big regulators, like the EU, I think theirs is it's either this month or it's in May. I think it's this month, the 22nd of this month. Actually, I think they give their decision.
Yeah.
Like,
if they block it, it's done. If they say no, it's absolutely over.
Brazil is the 10th largest gaming market, so it's not a small market. It's not.
Hold on, I'm looking them up because I want to get my facts right. But yeah, like, I think a lot of the big places were waiting for someone, one of the first places to pull the trigger. And at that point, I think now we're going to start seeing a domino effect of, okay, this is where it's going to go. Because like the China still hasn't given their say on it, and they're the largest gaming market in the world. The US still no one's given an official thing over there, and we've still got the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC's lawsuit that's coming through, and I think that's in May. I want to say
August. It's in August.
Thank you, Jiba. They've still not said. The third biggest gaming market has said yes. That is Japan. So that's one they've got in their favor. But again, something someone has said before, they're kind of beholden to the US because of that Japanese trade deal or something. South Korea hasn't said anything about this, and they're the fourth largest gaming market as far as like billions as far as US dollars. The UK is the fifth largest gaming market, and the UK just said no. Under that is India. They're the sixth. They've not said anything. France is right under that. They haven't said anything. Russia is under there. We all know that what they're doing.
France is the EU, so they would whatever.
Well, yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying, like, as far as like the markets, like where the biggest shares are, as far as like in $1 billion. Because then we also got Germany there, and then Mexico. Like that is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As of 2021 to 2025 prediction, like there's your top 10 gaming markets right now. And again, like only one of these big players has said yes, one of them has said no, and I feel like a lot of these are waiting for others, for someone else to say something before the other ones speak up. It's like that classroom etiquette of no one's gonna do anything until that one person says it, then everybody else gets rowdy. Like the follow the leader bullshit. So right now, I think it's in the air. At the moment, I'll admit, I think it is in the air if the EU says no. But I agree with what Jubei said. If y'all were saying that about the CMA.
Well, no, like this just based off, like, you have to think the CMA can say no. If the EU says no, there's no shot.
No, but that's what I'm saying. No, I was agreeing with you. I was saying if the EU says no, this deal's fucking dead, because then that's officially three of the 10 largest game markets in the world that are saying no, including all the rest of the countries in the EU.
The difference is the FTC can't block shit. The America has not said no. Because if they wanted to say no,
I wasn't referring to US. I wasn't referring to US. I was referring to France and Japan and Germany. If the EU says no, that's two of the top 10 gaming markets that are locked now.
Yeah,
and then the rest of the EU, like, then that's dead. Like it's officially dead at that point. Then it doesn't matter what the FTC says. Like they cannot lose Europe now.
Yeah, they can't. They have to pull business, and that's not financially feasible to do that.
No, and here's the thing: even if they say yes, I don't see Microsoft pulling out of the EU. They'll find some way out of England. Like, I don't see they have a lot of money tied up here. I don't see them just pulling out. They will pull some backdoor shenanigans to. Because again, the CMA is an independent thing. They are not the government. They are independent. Because even our prime minister had to come out and fucking say that to clarify to people who don't listen.
And they can't be reasoned with. Like, you have to appeal to the government. You can't appeal to them.
And unfortunately, the track record of them the track record of the CMA losing's not exactly high. But
they win 66% of the time.
The government actually supported the CMA. Not only that.
Now, here's the thing. What I'm trying to get at, let me get it. So what happens if what happens if just CMA blocks it? It'll go through, but like I said, the EU will not the EU. Microsoft will find a way just to get around the CMA stuff. Like they'll just find a way, because like
how can they do so?
They have those three options. They have those three options. If everybody else approves except for the CMA,
The
They
CMA
will find either they find a way, they take fines because they don't care, or they pull. Those are the three options.
I don't see them pulling because, again, what you've also got to take into consideration is like this wouldn't just affect the gaming market. This would affect the tech market as well in some regards.
Yeah,
So
and
anyway,
CMA literally said that for 10 years they
yes,
can't.
I wanted to addendum this. That this block also puts them on ice for even attempting for another 10 years if they do not win an appeal. This was also something that the CMA found as well, is that regarding the Nintendo agreement, in addition to noting that this theory of harm is primarily focused on the CIE for reasons already explained, we also considered the points discussed in the ability assessment regarding the uncertainty created in certain terms of this agreement also applies to the incentive analysis. With regards to Microsoft's submission that this agreement demonstrates a general intention to distribute Call of Duty on console, we note that this agreement has not been entered into during the course of the merger investigation and these of other authorities. We therefore do not consider it a reliable evidence that Microsoft's intention could otherwise be in the ordinary course. Because I do believe they also mentioned that basically the CMA did not believe them, that the Call of Duty that they are promising Nintendo will be of the same quality or standard or general offering as what is offered on other primary consoles. Now again, console isn't the reason why they blocked it. It was all cloud gaming, but that pretty much has been what I've been saying for the longest time. Like, we all joked, oh, it's going to get COD Mobile, but there was no way the Nintendo Switch was ever going to play Modern Warfare 2. Like, that is the baseline. It was never going to be able to play it.
But did they say specifically the Switch, or did they say
no? They
Nintendo?
said the Switch. No, it was specifically the Switch.
I mean, but again, they're also not devs, so stranger things have happened.
I think they went into explain that, like, due to technical. I'll find it while everybody else is talking. But they went into like with technical limitations of the Switch. It was.
And you're gonna trust them talking about technical limitations when they think that cloud's a market.
I trust my own fucking thing.
They think something that's been around for 23 years and only has $1 billion in a $130 billion industry is the emerging market.
No, I don't trust theirs. I trust my own knowledge and Nappy's knowledge, because Nappy was with me when he said there ain't no fucking way the Switch is gonna be able to play Call of Duty natively. Maybe with cloud, but we all know how good the cloud has been.
If the Wii, you forget the Wii had Call of Duty games. If the Wii can do it,
yes, but
the Switch can do it.
It really could not. And a lot of those Call of Duty games were actually very different from their console counterparts. Actually, in fact, they were running on completely different fucking engines, just to get them running. So they weren't competitive in a way.
That might be it.
But yeah, I mean, I can't even turn around and say cloud gaming would be the solution, because you'd still be years off that happening. Because I mean, we've seen what the Zero. How's that cloud version of Resident Evil 7 and 8 treating you?
Couldn't tell you. The Switch is not my Resident Evil platform.
Yeah, because it runs them shit apparently. All right, Omar. Go on, you have 5 fucking minutes, because I was reading all of that out and that ate up most of my time, so you've got 5 minutes.
Okay, so yeah, I'm curious what's gonna happen next. One of the reasons why I believe that the EU is gonna block it is because they actually talked with one firm of EU. I forgot which one it is, but they actually mentioned it, that they actually had a conversation with the EU about it, and then they came to the conclusion that they came to. So I would absolutely not be surprised if the EU is gonna say no to it. And you said it, but I've been seeing it a lot. Big companies were waiting for one company to pull the trigger and say no. We've seen when the CMA postponed its its decision, EU did that, and then Australia followed. So every single time CMA would postpone it, the other two would do as well. And now that the CMA have made the decision, I would absolutely not be surprised if EU says no and also Australia says no. And then you have also to see USA who
Who says no?
might.
Sorry, who says no? You said someone else said no. I didn't catch that.
Oh, no,
Australia.
not said
Australia.
no. Not said,
Australia said no?
I said
Oh,
no.
No,
I
Australia
said,
did not say no yet.
okay.
No,
I
Australia's not ruled
misspoke.
yet.
I wanted to say will say no. When it comes to USA, they've yet to make the decision. But let's say Australia, USA, Europe, and UK says no. What will Microsoft do? Pull out of. So let's say USA says yes. I will give you that. But Europe and UK says no. Will Microsoft literally pull out of Europe?
Sorry to interrupt, but Jube already gave you the answer. If Europe says no, the deal's dead, and
dead.
And Activision gets away with a cool $3 billion.
Mm-hmm. And
again,
let's
that's something that's not
$6 billion.
Yeah, that's something as well. Because I believe it was because of the market drop, the Activision Blizzard stock drop that happened afterwards. Like, I think, aren't they guaranteed like ain't Activision Blizzard guaranteed $3 billion at this point because of that? Was it something to do with that?
Some sort of fees, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it's like if the deal fails to close, there's a $3 billion fee that they owe.
Ahmed just said something that I want to comment on. He said Microsoft will find some backdoor way to pull through. Them bribe be looking real nice to some people. I don't think that will happen because even if Microsoft succeeds in appealing, then still the CMA needs to approve it. With the CMA already said no, they will just go back and say no again.
No, because they can't go back and just say no again because
no, they can't.
They can't because they're only. You're not listening. You want to just talk over me.
Go ahead.
Hold on. I'd rather we save this for the end. I want Omar to get his point out, and then you can go, Farrell.
I won't have anything to say at the end. But they won't be able to block it because they only blocked it on the premise of cloud. So if the cat says that cloud is no longer an issue, CMA didn't have any other issues, so they wouldn't be able to block it on other grounds because they already said all the other grounds are fine.
Also, one last thing for me, I would not be surprised if Google Stadia dying have anything to do with the CMA decision. Because Google Stadia was no one said it's Microsoft's fault, but with Google Stadia dying, Microsoft has less competition now when it comes to the cloud space. Google was also one of the companies that was against the deal. So I'm genuinely curious where it's going to go now. And now the next big thing would be EU. That's about it for me.
Alright. Kofi, your thoughts?
I was surprised. I'll give Dante his credit. I don't remember anybody else if they thought it was going to fall through. I did not think this was going to happen. I'm recalling to the time I opened my phone. I think it was last Monday or Tuesday.
Tuesday, I think they rolled. Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
I had heard that there were people that were staying up late and waiting for the CMA announcement to be, an acceptance, and I guess that was going to be a big victory in the social networks. I guess I just look at this as an end user. I'm looking for the moment that Xbox reaches a point where they're releasing games that not only would I be interested in buying more frequently, but they have some sort of technology that they can introduce with new engines or new innovative ways that they are expanding gaming that remind me of when they made hardware adjustments to the 360 so that Gears of War could be a more optimal experience at that time. That's what I'm visualizing. Whether that happens now or later, this whole acquisition thing, it's just unfortunate. And I think at this point, the EU blocking it or not, I'm thinking like it's 50% chance. Like it would just be the equivalent of a coin flip. And I guess my thought is, even if this does fail, I still see Xbox making acquisitions. I still see them making attempts at other exclusives. So I'm just waiting for that. This is not to me that significant. That's because I almost don't care about any of these intellectual properties that they're currently working on. Maybe they'll announce something older that I like. I do like Overwatch, but it's so changed from when I played it. It really doesn't matter to me right now. So I'm just maybe kind of jaded, and I'll have a better take on it when the dust settles. I know that there's appealing and there's more processing to do for all this. So it's a pain point for people who really wanted this to happen so that, COD could be part of the service or other games, right? Or other unique IPs. But to me, it's just the waiting game has been too long, and I just want some studio to release something cool, like more like a consistent Hi-Fi Rush. I hope Hi-Fi Rush becomes a franchise. So we'll see how things go.
I'm just gonna add in before I move on to Zero. You don't want to know the one bad thing about this deal not going through, or the CMA blocking it. I've grown fucking sick of talking about this deal, and now I'm guaranteed that we're gonna be talking about this fucking deal on the podcast for the next goddamn 2 months.
That's gonna be a summer topic.
Apparently, the appeal can take up to 2024.
Not if the EU blocks, because like by the 22nd, if the EU blocks, then it's practically dead at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Practically, not entirely, but practically dead. All right, Zero, your thoughts?
I guess I'm a little with Kofi. Just it's more. I want to see what's next from an end user perspective, and ideally that is, regardless of how the deal shakes out, like what is next then? Because if they get it, all we generally understand is that now they own Activision, Blizzard, King. Are you doing anything with them prominently, right? Like, are you making the new Candy Crush, or is Candy Crush 2 coming out with something like that, or what's going on with World of Warcraft, or any Warcraft type of things? Another Warcraft movie in the works, maybe. Overwatch gonna be Overwatch, unfortunately. But what else are you going to be doing in this space? What does the rest of Call of Duty look like? Is it just more Call of Duty? Or is it something different that we're going to see under Microsoft's helm? But if they just want to sort of be hands off, then it's just more Call of Duty, which isn't a bad thing. Call of Duty makes a bunch of money, which could be funneled into Xbox's other studios to make other more and better games, which are far more interesting than Call of Duty probably will ever be. Perfect Dark's coming. Hopefully that's fire. But more also, what if it doesn't go through? What's next for Activision? Like, I'm very curious at where they sit on all of this. Clearly, there seems to have been some established bad blood with them and Sony. So, like, despite all the claims of what people say Xbox will do, what action now does Activision take against some folks who were sort of messing with their deal, or that became more antagonistic as time went on? I don't think it's just going to go back to business as usual. And it doesn't. That's the one thing I don't really see people talking about. Is like, what comes next if the deal does not go through? Do people really think Activision will just continue business as is? I'm not convinced, but I don't know what that looks like. So I'd be very interested to see like where it goes. Personally, I've always said it before. Not a big fan of the acquisition. Not because of what Xbox is doing. I don't care about that. Just don't like the whole acquisition thing as a whole. It's an umbrella thing. I like when there's still sort of the giant publishers and developers that exist alongside the big three. Feels like it makes things a bit more interesting. You say whatever you want about Ubisoft, at least they're out there doing their own thing. Capcom, Square Enix, and people keep talking about, well, I want PlayStation to scoop them up. Like, please don't. Like, Capcom should just be Capcom. I don't think they need anybody else. I hope they don't need anybody else. Don't let them. Let's not consolidate the entirety of the industry. to just these 3 companies, and then slowly but surely let the other new small devs come up, or if they might not, because they'll just get swept up and eaten up again by the companies. So maybe let's not keep pushing that. But no, yeah, like that. That's where I sit. I'm very curious of what comes next after all of this is said and done.
Okay. Yeah. It's like the idea of like how free is the free market if free companies own fucking everything.
Exactly.
I could get that. All right.
It's but for very quick lack, but it's the Disney thing, right? Like, I like Disney. I like Marvel movies. I'm fine with Star Wars, but like, at one point you could very clearly tell a Star Wars from a Disney. I mean, from a Marvel from something else. They all kind of blend together now.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Zero.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because there is one man waiting in the goddamn.
Oh yeah,
save
Pharaoh.
that question.
Yeah, Pharaoh.
No, Pharaoh's got nothing else to say. He said he's got nothing else to say.
Oh.
No, you can say.
I said I don't have anything for. I said my
okay,
point
okay.
won't be made at the general discussion. That's what I said.
Yeah. Well, I mean, have you got anything else you want to add to that then?
I mean, I do. I think ultimately the deal still goes through. I don't think the cloud thing will hold up in the appeal, and I think because of that, the CMA verdict will pass as far as the EU, and we'll see there. I think the FTC will pass for sure. But yeah, I think the decision that the CMA made will ultimately be reversed at one way or another.
Okay, now I need to ask, in the event that it does not, and the deal does not go through, are you willing to take that L humbly? Because I believe Jube is willing to take that L humbly, but are you?
What L? I just think the deal's gonna go through. What L am I taking?
The fact that you think the deal is going through.
Yeah, I believe the deal's going through.
Right.
Maybe it doesn't go through, it doesn't go through, but I still believe it will.
Alright.
I don't think
Jube, let her rip, but I am a target that is off limits because I've been fucking Sweden on this one. I've been very nice about all of this, and I've just been given the facts here. So I am an off target. Like you can name Omar all you fucking want, but I am off limits. So please let her rip. So you have 5 minutes, 6 if I'm feeling generous. He went to get that extra strong weed for this one.
Mm-hmm.
I was just pausing for dramatic effect.
He's pausing for dramatic effect.
Yeah, see, he's pausing for dramatic effect. There he is.
Yeah. No, I was just letting y'all talk. I'm just gonna go back to my point. If EU blocks it, it's done. It's toast. Nothing you can do. It's too much to overcome. I don't think that they will, but I also thought that UK would see some sense. I've read the reasonings. I don't necessarily get their reasonings. Like they're bitching about a market and as far as them controlling the games and stuff, and then having this big majority of the market is because they're counting like all Game Pass Ultimate people as people that play xCloud, right? You can only have 10,000 xCloud people on at a time. That's a very minuscule number when we're looking at fucking percentages here.
And a lot of Ultimate members aren't.
And a lot of Ultimate members do not care. They're Ultimate members because they want to be able to have Game Pass on their PC as well as their console. You know, it's a better membership than just the standard Game Pass membership. You have the option to cloud, sure. Have I tried it? I've tried cloud 12 times since that shit came out. Dabbling. I find remote play on the Xbox app way more compelling than actual playing on the cloud. Because playing on the cloud is ass. It's absolute ass. And I will say that to everybody. Like, it's cool for like little indie games and shit. You know, like I can play Stardew Valley on the cloud. Like that would be a game I can play on the cloud. But majority of these other games, they just don't fucking work. It feels like straight ass to play. I played the first Plague's Tale. I finished it over cloud when I was away from my console, like because I didn't have any other choice. And it was that last boss fight literally pissed me off because of the latency that I was dealing with, even with a solid connection. Like that is not the future. We are still 40 years minimum away from moving into a cloud future where it's fucking viable, because internet infrastructure all over the world is complete ass. Especially, even here. Even with your situation with your internet, Dante, how many people have your tier of service, realistically speaking?
Realistically, I would probably say more than half.
Okay. But it's not great. It still has issues, even with all this speed they like to give you. You feel me? Like, they have to go out and do extra work. Unless these governments are willing to do infrastructure work, you know, to make sure every place is ready or wired for fiber, we're not going to go anywhere. Countries that are already established that shit, like Nordic countries and shit, where, you know, like internet access is government mandated, so they cover that. They cover the cost for that. They have the infrastructure set up for that. Like, until we see that everywhere, like, it's a nothing burger. Like, we can't do shit. Cloud is not going to be the primary way to play games. Especially Call of Duty. I don't want to play Call of Duty on cloud. That already sounded like a headache and a half when they were talking about it. I'm like, that's the hill you're gonna die on? But cool. And then for them, with the whole deal shit, it's like, okay, how can you count all the Game Pass Ultimate members as cloud users when everybody that has an Amazon Prime membership is also a Luna user, because it's included with Amazon Prime? So why aren't those numbers also being counted in that? Because technically speaking, if that's the case, then Amazon has the absolute biggest market share. There's way more Prime members than there are Game Pass users, by a very, very wide margin. And Prime damn near costs the same as Ultimate. But for some reason, they magically omit that fact, and they say that Amazon only accounts for like 5 to 10% of the market, when, again, every single Prime membership can access Luna at no additional cost. Is it anybody else's fault that Amazon doesn't advertise for that? No. Why the fuck would you blame Microsoft for Google failing because Google fails at any new thing that they do because they don't have the wherewithal to stick with it if it's not showing immediate results? We saw that shit with even when we had like Google Hangouts and shit. I loved Hangouts. It's gone. It's gone because Google's trash. They're out of the cloud market because they're idiots and they didn't have any exclusives. They just jumped into the market thinking, oh yeah, this market's gonna grow. It didn't work that way. PlayStation literally bought Gaikai and OnLive and shit, and bought the competitors of those things and foreclosed them so that they were the only place in that little space. That didn't really help them either. You have a $1 trillion company that actually invested the infrastructure and built that shit up, and now it's a problem because they put in the work and the money and the effort to do it. Just because everybody else can't do it, that's not their problem. That's like, look at the cell phone business. How many manufacturers of cell phones are there? Realistically, you're either Android or iPhone. There's not going to be a third fucking platform to come out. Too much. And that industry can still keep making business moves and doing what the fuck they do. It's cool, right? Not going to change. There aren't going to be any new players. And even with cloud, you notice majority of the people in cloud are bring your own game services. Why? They don't have the money to buy their own studios and make exclusive content. They can't afford storefronts. But what they can do is let you play games on their service that you already own for a fee. That's where all their money comes from. Yeah, and there might be an entirely different market in the East from. I'm not disagreeing with that, but generally, majority of these cloud providers only let you bring their games over. They don't have storefronts where you can actually buy games. Nvidia doesn't even have a storefront where you can buy games. If they did, we'd be talking some different scenarios here. What I think is going to happen, Microsoft is probably going to make a deal with Amazon of some sort, because that's in lieu of pointing out, like, at that point, if they get an appeal, they're going to make a deal with Luna, and what are you going to say about that? Literally the only other major player outside of Sony that can compete with them in the cloud space, that is competing with them in the cloud space, because AWS is still more prevalent than Azure is
Hold
at this
on.
point.
If we're talking about cloud gaming, like, wouldn't that? Do you mean
Wouldn't what?
Do you mean a storefront to play games? Like, do you count subscriptions for that? Because we are talking about the cloud gaming space.
Yes. So if you have Nvidia, if you have Nvidia now,
yeah,
you can buy games on Nvidia now. It doesn't take you to somebody else's storefront to buy games.
Yeah.
So Nvidia has their own store that you can purchase games from Nvidia that they had to buy from. I don't think so. Because Nvidia now is bring your own games. They don't have a storefront. You cannot go purchase a game directly from them. It has to come from the publisher. Because they don't have rights to sell the games. They only have rights to let you stream games that you already own, which means you already had to buy it from Steam or Sony or Microsoft or wherever the hell you bought your game from that's compatible with their platform.
Yeah, Steam, Epic Store, Ubisoft, Electronic Arts, and...
Exactly. They don't have their own personal storefront. Now, if GOG came out with a cloud service, they have a storefront. They can get 30% off of every sale because they have a storefront. If Epic Games has a cloud store or had a cloud service, they have a storefront to back that up, meaning they can also get a cut of the game sales. A lot of these companies, like you look at the contracts, oh yeah, Microsoft gets 100% of the revenue. They don't have storefronts to even sell a game, so why would they get any of the revenue from selling the game? Because they can't. They're incapable. I just think the whole cloud argument they pulled it out of their ass, and hopefully EU doesn't do the same thing. If EU approves it, then we're playing legal ball here, and if EU says yes, I don't think the UK is gonna like that very much, and I don't know what their next course of action would be. It's like, do you risk alienating your nation from being able to play these games after everybody else says yes? Are you gonna cave and force Microsoft to, like I said, make a deal with Luna or something, and then be in the history books for saying, yeah, you got this big megacorp to basically bend the knee to the bigger cloud service in just cloud in general, not just gaming. So we'll see. This is a very important month. If EU says, nah, we're done talking about this, it's over. Not gonna happen. That $64 billion that's left after the $3 billion payout better be put to something more useful. But then again, this also sets the precedent that it's going to fuck up acquisitions for big tech companies, period. Not just in the gaming space. Because if they can find little loopholes and shit to block this shit, like they're going to be very selective in what people can buy. Like Microsoft can't just go out and just buy devs at that point. They're going to implement some kind of way to prevent them from even doing that. They just don't want big tech to spend money. But they want to become a big tech hub. Like it shit literally makes no sense. And I'm still in the camp that I hope that tech hub shit literally goes the way of the dodo there, and the UK consumers can literally point at CMA and be like, "Look what you guys did. You guys fucked up." That's my piece on that. So,
all right. Well, I guess we only got 10 minutes of general discussion right now because you took over an extra 5 minutes talking. I do have one question, and I feel like this is very poignant to everything. If this deal does not go through,
yep,
you got to look at all the fucking legal fees that they've been paying to fight all of this shit, and that's if they also try and fight with appeals for the CMA, the EU, and then they've also
they won't fight for the EU. It's too many countries. It's too much. If they say no, it's full stop.
I'd just like to also point out, like, different tangent, but it's kind of relevant. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people wanted to leave the EU. Like, why a lot of people wanted to get out, why we have Brexit. This is one of the issues. Because this is one of the reasons. If the EU says no, if the regulators in the EU say no, there is fuck all the individual countries can do about it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we didn't like. A bunch of people we didn't elect making choices for all of these countries, because you'd have no say. Like if they say no and Germany's like what, and France is like wait, we didn't agree to this. Well, bullshit. Well, too bad. You're under the EU. These are our laws. You follow them. So
Okay.
that's unfortunately how it fucking that works.
But Brexit has done literally nothing for you.
That is a multilateral clusterfuck on a lot of sides. Like the EU fucked us on at every goddamn turn because they were pissy that we left, and we also had a bunch of people incompetent trying to fucking sort it. Need I bring up Theresa May again? But no, like, because you got to think about it. My point is, the EU says no. Like, if they try and fight it, that's on top of all the legal fees they've had to go through, going through the bullshit with the CMA and the European Union, and then also the upcoming lawsuit for the from the FTA or FTC.
Well, I mean,
hold on, let me finish. I am getting to my point here. That they probably won't try and fight, and then there's the $3 billion they've got to part with, maybe more with Activision Blizzard if this deal does die. And by the end of that, they'll have fucking nothing to show for it. My question is, do you think some heads are gonna roll over Xbox/Microsoft because of this whole bullshit?
No, because that was a Microsoft decision. It wasn't an Xbox decision. It was Satya saying, "We're doing this."
That's why I said Xbox/Microsoft. Like, could you see heads rolling? Because, like, again, there's a whole lot of money down the drain for nothing to fucking show in the end.
Is Satya going to fire himself because the UK and the EU said no?
That'd be fucking hilarious. I'd laugh, honestly.
No.
But no.
Absolutely not.
I give up, guys. I'm sorry.
But like I said, it's not going to be good for acquisitions. Period. This failing is going to prevent Microsoft from doing anything else in this space.
It's going to prevent big tech from doing anything else.
It's going to prevent them doing things that aren't even related to gaming, just because the CMA might have a say in it. They want to buy a company to do something else at just Microsoft. Period. They're going to hit roadblocks with that. Like that's why they're fighting as hard as they are, because it's going to set a precedent and it's going to fuck them globally just because of one little fucking island.
Well, to be fair, and some people are not going to enjoy me saying this, but given all the spankings that, Microsoft has handed out over the years with all their vicious cutthroat business bullshit, and you remember a lot of what Bill Gates did, it's kind of refreshing to see Microsoft get spanked for once.
Yep.
I wouldn't call it spanking because
it's not a spanking
until it's
okay. Slap on the hand.
Until it's done, it's done.
Like I said, if none of this goes through, is my point.
Yeah, it's jousting.
Like I said, if none of it goes, if none of it goes through,
wait, let him finish. Pharaoh speaking.
Yep.
No, you can ask the question. It's fine.
I didn't hear him, so go ahead, Pharaoh. Sorry about that.
No, go ahead. Ask your question.
I have a question for you, Jubei. You said something about Stadia failure is not on Microsoft, right?
It's not. It is not.
And Satya Nadella came out and said, "Let us compete," right?
Yep.
So my question is, why the fuck should Microsoft failure be on PlayStation business? Why should PlayStation lose Activision because Microsoft couldn't compete? It's literally the same.
Hold on. They never had Activision, but hold on, he's addressing that question to me. What do you mean, why does Sony need to lose Activision? Because like I said, if they can't acquire the company, they damn sure can acquire the IPs. That $60+ billion will get fucking spent, bro. It don't matter. It don't matter. Let this deal fall through. Xbox is still gonna have Call of Duty, guaranteed. Can't say that about the other side though. Trust me. If they said, "Hey, we're gonna give you $30 billion for that fucking IP, $40 billion," do you honestly think Bobby's gonna be like, "Fuck nah"? Plus royalties. No, he's not gonna say.
Would Activision really let go of their own biggest IP?
Well,
if they still get royalties,
and it comes down to if Bobby and the shareholders agree. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And if, like I said, if they work out, here's a lump sum plus royalties for forever. Yeah, they're not gonna say no to that.
And they'll be the developers for the game, so they're gonna make them development. They're gonna get paid to develop it.
Yep, that's what I mean. That's part of that royalties package. Y'all still get to develop the game. We just own the IP. That's it. Ain't no more marketing deals with Sony. It's a wrap.
Yeah. And competing is always a weird thing, right? Like, I think when people keep saying competing, like it as if, particularly in business, that it's supposed to be like 1-to-1 fair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that is how it's ever been. And companies don't want it to be that way. Like sometimes you want to be able to throw your weight around to eliminate the competition as a whole. Microsoft is competing. They aren't doing very well, but they're competing, so they're trying a new strategy. You don't have to like the strategy, but to I guess insinuate that they aren't competing because you want them to fight the way you want them to fight. But there's never. I mean, the rules are established. What they're doing isn't necessarily against the rules.
It's not, and they don't have. And the thing is that it's time. They're buying established IP because why? It takes time to establish IP. They don't have time. They can't wait another 10 years for shit to come to fruition. Games take 5-6 years plus to make. They don't got the time. They'd rather buy established IPs and keep going. I'm sorry?
Sony does the same thing as far as buying IPs, whether it's only for a limited period of time where it appears prominently in their storefront, or
Sony likes to try before they buy it. Like they have a whole thing.
Final Fantasy 16 is a perfect example of them, pretty much buying the mind share of an IP, or licensing Spider-Man, Wolverine. Like those aren't their IPs, but they're using established IPs to make money. Microsoft just has enough money to purchase it for an indefinite period of time and to own it. Yeah. Yep. So like Microsoft isn't doing anything that Sony isn't doing. They just have more money to do it in a different way.
Do you think people would be as upset's not the word, but that sort of antagonistic about it all if it was just Microsoft by and large across the industry buying timed exclusives? So
no, I think
let's say the past 6 months, every major game that came out that isn't like a first party was a year timed exclusive on Xbox. Like, would people not have a problem with that?
I would.
Nope,
I
they
would.
couldn't. They absolutely could not have a problem with it.
It is coming to
I'd still have an issue with that because I have that same issue with PlayStation. I'm keeping my fucking consistency.
Right.
So,
no, I don't, because I never had.
So hypothetically, this deal dies, right? If Microsoft goes to the top 6 game publishers and gives them each $10 billion for timed exclusivity on their major titles for the rest of the generation, give you each $10 billion. No one can stop them from doing that. They could literally do that.
And y'all gonna be real upset when you can't get no third-party deals.
and I'm not even taking it to an extreme, like 5 years or something. Just like a year or two, or I guess how long is Final Fantasy?
Well, when I say 5 years, I mean the games that come out over that period. Like the games that come out over the next 5 years, we have timed exclusivity on them. Whatever you release over the next 5 years,
and is it
$10 billion.
They tried it.
It could be a year. It could be 2 years.
Okay.
Are you talking about Tomb Raider? Are you talking about one game?
Yeah,
we're not talking about one game. We're not talking about one game. We're talking about their fucking
going
catalog.
to the publisher. Yeah, we're talking about going to the publisher. Here's $10 billion. Anything that you release is exclusive to us for 2 years. Anything you release.
Good luck.
They can hypothetically do that. They can hypothetically just walk into each publisher and give them $10 billion and say, we want your whole catalog for the next 5 years. Anything you release, exclusive to us.
And I only ask this hypothetical not to give Microsoft an out. More of what is the attitude towards that practice?
They wouldn't be able to say anything because Sony does the same thing, just with less money, but they do the same thing.
Nintendo does it as well. Like companies, like
I wouldn't say as much. I wouldn't say as much.
They literally took out Monster Hunter from PlayStation and made it exclusive. Or time. I forgot which one it is. And I'm talking about Monster Hunter, the one where you play turn-based. They
You can
actually
point out
played.
you can point out a game, sure,
wait,
but
wait,
for
wait,
the
hold
most
on,
part,
hold on,
like
hold on.
if you're making
Zero.
a AAA title,
Hold up. I actually take slight issue with that. Is he Zero? He's talking about Try, right?
Well,
I'm
Try
talking
was
about the
exclusive.
turn-based one.
The Monster Hunter
That
one.
sounds like try.
Yeah, that was.
No,
Monster Hunter Rise.
No,
I thought
you
Try
were
is
talking
not
about
Monster
turn-based.
Hunter Rise.
Are you talking about
turn-based
Monster Hunter Stories?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Monster
Stories?
Hunter
Stories.
Yeah.
Okay, isn't that on PC as well?
It did, but
And-
it's not on PlayStation.
Not
No,
to
I'm t-
discount you, Dante. In this conversation, I was excluding PC just as a general thing.
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
I'm not including
I went for
PC,
people's
because
knees about
PC
that.
No, PC is what PC gets it all. I'm talking about PlayStation,
don't.
Xbox, and Nintendo.
I
Most
mean,
of the time.
To be fair, I agree with Pharaoh. I'm not saying Nintendo does not do it. Microsoft and Sony are far more guilty of doing it than Nintendo does. And if we're going to because that's what that's how this discussion is going, right? It's not about that everyone's doing it. It's just who's
the
doing
most
it
egregious.
the worst. Exact. Who's the most egregious? Nintendo is not usually the most egregious for this, or it is things that they are making that they help support, like your Bayonettas, like your Live Alives, like your great Ace Attorney detectives.
Also, I would just also like to point out, because I am Mr. I'm Mr. Facts over here. Like, as far as because we're talking about are we talking about Monster Hunter Stories too?
Yes.
I did
yes.
the second one.
Right.
games.
Okay. I would just like to point out that as far as like using that as a point is moot for Omar, because the original Monster Hunter Stories was a console exclusive to the fucking 3DS for Nintendo. So it makes sense that the sequel would come out for Nintendo exclusively as far as a console. So point there, moot.
Give me a second. There was later an article about how Nintendo paid Capcom $8 million or something.
Yeah, probably
It
to
doesn't
get
matter, it doesn't matter what they paid.
Well,
Capcom said,
I'm
yeah.
literally talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So, I'm talking about how a company wanted to put it elsewhere, and a company said don't. And I'm okay with it. I've always said it. I'm okay with exclusivity deals.
Like,
So
and
would
again,
you be
I
okay
think a
with-
little
with-
bit to Dante's point.
Yeah,
like,
you should be okay because that's what's happening with Square Enix.
So you would be okay if this deal fails and Microsoft takes $60 billion and splits $10 billion across the top 6 publishers and buys their catalog for a period of time?
Yeah, because I've always said it. Exclusivity deals are okay. I'm not gonna be hypocritical
so, like-
about it because PlayStation is doing it just because only PlayStation is allowed to do it. No,
I'm glad
Microsoft is allowed to do it
Nappy's
as
not
well.
here now, because he'd be screaming at you, Omar, because he really wants that Final Fantasy 16.
Like Final Fantasy 17, Xbox, Street Fighter 7,
7, Xbox.
Xbox,
Resident
Tekken
Evil
9.
9, Tekken
Yeah,
9,
whatever.
Xbox,
Like
everything.
all those big games. Yeah, all those big games, but no longer becoming a PlayStation until probably the next generation. You would be cool with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'm calling bullshit.
Why
Yeah, I
would
would
you
go-
call bullshit? Why the fuck would you call bullshit?
Because the
when
literal
I-
meltdowns would be crazy.
Because I wanted to play the Tomb Raider game, and when it was time exclusive for Microsoft, I was like, okay, I'll play it when it comes on PlayStation. And when it came
Yeah,
to
but that-
PlayStation, I picked it up later and I played it. Simple.
Yeah,
But
but
they
that's
bought-
1 year.
I'm saying
We're
if they
talking
bought
5,
those
bro.
games up, we're talking about the top 6 companies. The rest of the generation, you don't get those games. When a new generation hits, you're not.
Hey,
Most people aren't going.
you said for 2 years, right?
No, he said for the rest of the gen. This
Yeah,
gen is
basically
going to
the
last
generation.
longer than... We got 5 more years left. This gen started in 2020.
I mean, $10 billion buys a lot of time. I'm just saying. Like most of these exclusivity deals are a couple $1 million.
maybe
If they get
10 million.
10 billion?
Maybe 10 million tops. 10 billion though? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to say no to that.
Yeah, if you get $10 billion, you're not buying just 2 years of Like you would be buying a good. I mean, would you be paying an extra tax because you're the smaller platform and you're also putting some of these games in Game Pass? Yes, but that would be nasty work, and I wouldn't be championing Xbox for doing it. I know that much. I'd be like, that's kind of shitty. But I have an Xbox, I have a PlayStation 5. I'm not affected, but yeah, I would still say it's shitty if they did that.
Yep.
I
mean, it's all fair. It sucks, but
Yeah, I mean, it's just
if that's what you got to do,
experiment.
Because you have to think like Ubisoft. Do you know how much?
Wrap up your
Yeah,
points now.
Ubisoft made $420 million in profit between 2021 and 2022. $10 billion? Yeah, you can get 5 years of that. Easy. The only thing you won't get from that is Activision.
You go get the generation.
Because Activision makes $5 billion a year, period. So
I want your catalog for the generation. $10 billion. Here you go.
Yeah, how would you argue with that? What would you start the next gen off? It'd have to be 100% all first party, and that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Has everybody got that?
Yeah, and they could. Yeah, that would be nasty work. Yeah, that's it.
I just hope.
But they're not ready for that. Go ahead.
I just want to stop talking about this fucking deal. I want to go back to the days where I could yell at Omar for fucking Death Stranding taking over a year to come to PC because PlayStation are being assholes about that shit and the fact that they can't port games really well and they shouldn't outsource. I want to laugh at fucking Xbox like not having any goddamn games again. I want to go back to simpler times, damn it. I want to bitch at Nintendo for having a shitty goddamn console, but putting out stellar goddamn games that somehow run on it. Is that too much to fucking ask that we go back to days?
I want PlayStation to have a showcase. Like we all want
Good
something.
Luck. Showcase for what? There ain't no games.
Okay,
Outside
that's it.
Showcase.
Fucking outros. We're outros because goddamn it, I'm not allowing this shit to go off the fucking. I'm not allowing this shit that iceberg again. We've already hit it like 5 fucking times during this podcast. Jubei, give your outro.
Yep. Find me at Jubei X Sensei on gaming platforms. Jubei Sensei everywhere else. I'm about to go pick my daughter up and get into a little bit of Redfall before I gotta go to work tomorrow. So yeah. And I gotta finish Fallen Order so I can start Jedi Survivor. Hopefully there's another patch before I finally get to that game.
Apparently kind of nappy there was a patch for it. It went live.
I want another one. I don't trust that patch. I want another one. I need a patch for the patch.
Alright. Pharaoh, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Pharaoh Bizarre, and anywhere you like to watch streamers at the Land of Pharaoh. I'm active in our Discord too, so if you post in our Discord, good chance I'll respond. So yeah, join Discord.
Yep. Omar.
People can find me at Carbon Corjab on Twitter and Gameplayer every Friday, Saturday 5 p.m. Eastern time. We actually had 1.5, almost 1 hour, 40-minute breakdown of Forbidden West DLC, the good and the bad. So give it a listen. Get out to the chat and hit the like button.
You can find me at Dante Crisis on Instagram, Twitter, the Dante Crisis on Facebook, as well as Dante Crisis on YouTube and Twitch. Currently, the Let's Plays that are coming out on my YouTube channel are Metal Slug XX and Resident Evil 4 Remake. And currently live streaming on Tuesdays, Eternal Darkness. Wednesdays are my chill stream. Thursday is Persona 4 Golden. And Fridays is Mass Effect Andromeda on Insanity. And Mondays are my multiplayer streams. Zero, where can people find you? But more importantly, where can people find us?
As always, guys, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. You can find me, of course, 0.exe, pretty much everywhere. We are playing games, PlayStation, Nintendo, all that good stuff. But far more important to me, you can certainly find us, Vitamin G Podcast, pretty much everywhere all your favorite podcasts are, which I imagine is us. Spotify, YouTube, we're all down there. Please give us a like, comment, listen. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us what you want to hear. Because as always, guys, you know, you could be doing anything else, but we actually appreciate that you took the time out to listen to us. So we thank you for that. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, yes, yes. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, keep it gaming. Okay, we out of here. Peace.
Later.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin J. Ayy. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G.